What a night for football in the heartland. It's a Big 12 showdown from Ames, Iowa, where number 9 Iowa State is 6-0 for the first time since the Great Depression. Tonight, they host the UCF team, hoping for a spark under center to try to snap a 3-game skid. A lot of excitement here at Jacurri Stadium as we welcome you inside our booth. My name is Trent Lush, joined alongside by Spencer Tillman. Boy, the Matt Campbell era really reaching new heights right now for this Iowa State program. Really does feel like we're in the golden age of this team.
Yeah, and it helps. This is not gilded. You're absolutely right. This is authentic. Rocco Becht is the main reason why it is that way, Trent. I think ultimately it's in part because of the surrounding cast that's around him, great receivers and all that stuff. Abu Sama, we know about the running back. He is settled into that position. Got to go back to last year to find a loss on his record.
They started out 3-0 and lost 5 straight, trying to avoid that again. Meanwhile, Matt Campbell, it's about finding how to handle success. And it was an area they struggled a few years ago, trying to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Trent, can't say enough about the job that Matt Campbell has done, creating a culture that endures. And as we kick it off, we're going to see if he can extend that today to 7 in a row.
Iowa State won the toss. They deferred to the second half.
Well, again, he's a lead runner, and he's able to bust games open. He has more 10-yard runs of 10 yards or more than anybody in the nation. He can do it, but against a stout defense like this with this odd front that John Haycock has, it's going to be uphill.
First career start for Jacurri Brown. Here comes Brown with the snap, and he's looking over to that left side. We're going to see that NFL arm is how Gus Malzahn describes it, and first pass of the ball game is going to be caught for a first down. So right away, Kobe Hudson, his #1 target, 1 pitch, 1 catch. So that's going to set up a 1st and 10 for Jacurri Brown, a 12-yard gain, first play of the ball game, and now he's going over to the right side. That's the tight end, Randy Pittman Jr. That left side, we mentioned R.J. Harvey. You've already seen Kobe Hudson get a reception. Randy Pittman as well. Part of this night offense, which is tops in the Big 12 yardage-wise. As they get a first down here, it's Harvey on the ground getting just enough. The issue for UCF has been about punching it in because they're getting the yards.
Yeah, and it's going to be tougher to get him, though, with both Freeland and company coming from that center field position. And he may be a strong safety at time. They'll put him up around the line of scrimmage. But those are the type of open field tackles they're going to have to make to keep these explosive runs to a minimum, Trent.
So they're going to mark him just short. That's going to set up a 3rd and 1 here. It's going to be a give. They go to Harvey, who breaks the tackle. He's got the first down. It's a running room. R.J. Harvey all the way inside the 10-yard line for a huge pickup on the opening drive before Williams.
State's a team to be reckoned with, but this UCF team is well coached.
46 yards on that carry for Harvey. Play action. Now they hand it right to him. And trying to fake the play action there was the quarterback, and Brown. That's going to be a 2-yard gain. Now this Iowa State defense is stout. They got Big Citrus, Dominic Orange up front on that defensive line. That's going to need to continue to get pressure. These linebacking core, all sophomores or freshmen, all from Townsend, Iowa, with a population of about 2,000 or less. It's a neat story we'll get into. And then that secondary you were talking about with Cooper and Freeler, that is an outstanding group of safeties back there.
They're going to need that juice to stop this offense now.
It's Montgomery who... It's going to be Brown who takes it himself and gets into the end zone. Jacurri Brown scores on the opening drive for the Knights.
Wow. Well, I've known Gus Malzahn for almost 25 years, and I can tell you every iteration, going all the way back to Springdale High School, he's had running quarterbacks, set records with them through the air as well. This is an unbelievable coach. When given assets, he can coach them up with the best.
It was just a week ago when UCF was taking on Cincinnati. We were putting together an outstanding opening drive before a fumble ended it as the PAT is up and through. But UCF scoring on this opening drive, and for all the talk about how good Iowa State has been, boy, you give Jacurri Brown a start and he scores right away.
Balls at Auburn before. The year they won a national championship, he had a similar situation. Tim Harris, the co-offensive coordinator, is there to help him along and make those choices.
Kick goes through the back of the end zone. has a lot of poise and command of this offense.
Well, the thing is, early on, he has the pedigree to do that, right? His dad played in the NFL a long time, and nothing is a surprise or shock to him. You watch his countenance. You watch this way he comports himself in the huddle. There's nothing that's going to shake this kid. He's unflappable. If there's a critique, Trent, it's the fact that maybe the culture doesn't allow them to have the big shots. We did a North Dakota game early on, big shots off the top, but you can see he's in command right now. Check with me at the line of scrimmage, getting into the right play.
Play action rolling out to the right side. Throw on the run is a good one. That's going to be caught by Jalen Knoll. And get used to hearing that name. Jalen and Jalen are the two. Jaden and Jalen really do a good job outside.
Well, Jalen Knoll is one half of that dynamic duel that we talked about just a moment ago, and he gets him here on the run play outside the pocket, going pace and tempo.
Quad to the right means a pass to the left, and that is through the hands of Higgins. The top target for this Iowa State Cyclone squad. There's a look at what they are up front. James Neal anchoring that left side over at the tackle position. Sama, we believe, is the starting running back, but so far it's been all Carson Hansen, who has 3 touchdowns just last week. And then there's Higgins and Knoll, the receivers outside.
Well, that running back room is loaded, and they're just trying to manage the talent in that room as we got movement up front.
Come up with an answer early on in this ball game after UCF scored on the opening drive. Iowa State playing as a top 10 team in the country, relatively unfamiliar territory for them.
Defense number 5, in the neutral zone, causes an offensive reaction, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
So it's going to be a penalty against UCF, and I don't know that that's much of a surprise between these two, because if you see a penalty on Iowa State, it's rare. Second in the country.
That was a great sales job by Jalen Travis, though. Tackle to make that thing work, brother. He convinced those officials.
It's going to be a give over to the right side. Not a whole lot of room there for Jackson. Just trying to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Now there's got to get some pressure rush generated to affect Rocco Becht. We've always seen the throw game a little bit. Had the incomplete pass. That wasn't execution.
3rd and 5. Becht going through his progressions. Dangerous pass. And that's going to fall incomplete right through the hands of Braden Marshall. The Maryland game. We are in the heartland of America tonight. Number 9 Iowa State taking on UCF. And immediately we have seen UCF score on their opening drive, and Iowa State is going to have to punt here. And now we're going to see this Knights team get a second look as fair catch is called right around the 11.
Experience behind him in those 58 years of this game.
Jacurri Brown, who's under center, is making his first start at UCF. Had a good game as the number 2 last week after a change in quarterback. Good pass over the middle, but it's dropped. Boy, that's usually a sure-handed Randy Pittman Jr., but he can't bring it in. Harvey back there alongside Brown, the quarterback. It's going to be a read play. Now Brown's going to keep it and bounce it to the outside. He's got a first down where he is pushed right around the 21. Needed 10, got 10.
On the field was the line the game was made.
So they had a first down on the field, and now they're going to take a look at the spot on this play. Trying to take a peek where Brown got to. It looked like he was there, but maybe tiptoeing on that sideline on the far side. Did he get enough?
I don't think the left foot. I think the left foot was on the white skirt. But again, it wasn't working out. And credit Gus for being able to create a culture that allows for that transition.
Was changed. If you run it short of the line to gain at the 20-yard line, it will be 3rd down.
Behind against an excellent running team like UCF, they can control the clock. That's going to be a give-right decision, and there's the first down after the review. So Harvey there to pick it up.
On scheme.
That's going to be a handoff over to the left side, and a good open field tackle made. Coming up with a stop was Darian Porter.
Darian Porter, one of the stalwarts on this outstanding back end John Haycock has put together, and they've gone through a lot of issues at the linebacker position, but there's nothing wrong with this back end in terms of the bodies they've got available to them. They'll show you some of those 3 men in the back with a single high individual safety. It may be any one of them at any given time. Freeland may be back there, tough to sort out.
Play action rolling to the right is Brown. Brown looking to run, and that's what he will do. Gets the first down before he slips just beyond the 40 for a big-time pickup right there. Cooper there to take him down.
And this is what I mean by releasing to the naked side.
That's Miles Montgomery back there with Jacurri Brown. And it's going to be a give to Montgomery. Just gets past the 40.
You know, one thing about a John Haycock coach defense, they're going to play with integrity. Those down linemen up front, all four of them are outstanding. But you've got to slide lateral to the line of scrimmage with this group because they've got running backs who are shifty enough to make the run fits become very difficult to make. And you got to stay with them.
John Haycock, the defensive coordinator. Iowa State, little end around here, nowhere to go, and another really nice open field tackle for Darian Porter.
Well, that's twice now Darian Porter's gotten to that edge and didn't cut it off, right? If you can get those guys to not be able to make that corner, it makes a lot of things more difficult for the offense, and ultimately the defense, your battery mates behind you, their efforts get a lot easier as well, and that's what they need because this linebacker crew has been decimated with injuries. Everybody's stepped up and played at a high level, but they're 3 deep right now in that department.
Porter, an Iowa native, showing off the speed, set high school track and field records here in the state. Now it's third down. To the air they go, incomplete. Well defended as we see the muscle of that secondary for Iowa State.
That was Hudson there. Again, an opportunity to get pressure, and there's some rare case that you'll see John Haycock's defense bring pressure in this situation.
Return man here being Jalen Knoll, and Knoll's trying to get a little bit of space. He's got a lane. There goes Knoll to the 40. Big time return right there before he's knocked out of bounds.
Oh, what a wonderful job of the third phase of the game. Iowa State offense is coming up, man, making big plays. They'll take it from the special teams inside if they get it, partner.
Hilton for the stay. Ames, Iowa, the site where so far it's been the Knights to strike first. They have a 7-0 lead here just past the midway point in this first quarter. Spencer Tillman, my name is Trent Rush, and now we get to meet this Cyclone offense who has already shown the ability to have some comebacks this year. A 7-0 deficit. They're not sweating it here in Ames.
Yeah, they're comfortable. This is their identity. It's what they do. They're familiar with it.
There's Carson Hansen with that last carry. A 3-yard gain. So far, we have yet to see Abu Sama, who is their starting tailback, but Hansen had a huge game last week. 20 carries, 96 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Iowa State's win, and now we got him breaking loose. All kinds of room. Going towards the end zone inside the 10. And there goes Hansen. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Bob, number 26, Hansen, man, he's rolling inside. I love the fact that he's got that kind of shiftiness you would expect from a smaller back, but man, he's got pop in his step as well. Able to put you in his hip pocket and then close the deal out on the other end. So you see that urgency coming out. Taylor Mauser, the offensive coordinator, able to strike, not necessarily through the air, but on the ground, keeping this thing tight.
Who says the Cyclones can't have big plays? 56 yards on that last carry as Carson Hansen gets into the end zone. And the PAT is good just like that for all the momentum UCF had to start this game. Iowa State with a strike in the form of the sophomore Minnesota native, Carson Hansen. 57 yards, 2 plays. Thank you very much.
Well, the equalizer was impressive to be sure, but I think equally as impressive is the opposing quarterback that made it necessary for them to have to score as fast as they did. You know, this is the second consecutive week I had a Brown at quarterback that surprised some people. Ryan Brown came in for Purdue and did some wonderful things and shocked some folks. That unknown factor of the quarterback can be profound.
And it can change everything. And with UCF with a new signal caller, this one gets fielded at the 5, to the 20. Not a whole lot of room right there to go. Drive will start at the 20 for UCF. It's going to be a give to Harvey. Has to muscle his way through the middle for a couple. 3-yard gain.
I just love how these backs come to the line of scrimmage and what I call assist their lineman, your offensive lineman.
See that C on the shoulder. part of what he leads as well. This is going to be Brown to the keeper. Got slipped up just past the 25, and he keeps trying to fight for extra yards.
Trent, if he can, there's nobody there. Got a big battery made out in front of him. That's Amari Knight.
Rylan Barnes finally brought him down, and then there's another takedown behind the line of scrimmage. And R.J. Harvey running into a swarming defense led by this man, Bo Freeland.
Well, he's such a great asset and a talent. And again, he's able to, in this case, give his team great field position after this is punted away. And you know that they're going to be on tiptoes of anticipation, waiting to get another score to kind of belie the narrative that's been created against them, that they're slow starters. And they're going to need it at some point, because this new era that we're in, this 12-team expanded playoffs, it's a beauty contest, brother. And you can hang up points. That's what it's all about.
Noel back to return. So after scoring the touchdown on 2 plays on that drive, the Cyclones carry the momentum over with a shutdown drive, a 3-and-out. Iowa State playing at a level we just haven't seen before in Ames, Iowa. What a start. This team is off to 6-0 for the first time since 1938 and continuing to ascend in the AP poll top 10 for just the 5th time in school history. Boy, you look at 11 unbeatens in college football right now. Iowa State, one of them, 4-0 would be the goal if they get a win today. That's what they'd be in conference. They've never been that going back 133 years of Iowa State football. Here comes the first play of the drive. It's Becht who's going to show off his legs, breaking through some traffic, and now he's got a little bit of room up the left sideline and in tonight's territory. 22 yards on the game.
Trent, that's an example of what I call active patience. You see a quarterback stay in the pocket, it's active around him, things are tight and snug, but you keep your feet moving like pistons, right? And just the subtle move so as to not get past that line of scrimmage to know where everything is. Rocco Becht is a field general.
So they will mark him right at midfield where he stepped out of bounds. So push back a couple of yards. That's Sama who took the play action and ran to the left side as Becht slides going to the right and gains 2 while he's hit. Coming up on the tackle there was Shelton Arnold.
Shelton doing a great job of coming up and Rocco sliding not to absorb any unnecessary punishment on that one. That's just wise. And, you know, there was actually no receiver there, but you did see Rocco put the ball up in there like he was pumping it, trying to affect the back end coverage, right? That's just a smart quarterback understanding that he can influence what's happening on the other side.
Rocco Becht, just a sophomore, broke all of Brock Purdy's freshman records a season ago. 23 passing touchdowns, 3,120 passing yards. And now commanding this Iowa State offense to a place they've never been before. Give up the middle. And that's going to be a little shy of the first as Carson Hansen continues to be the bell cow for the Cyclones.
They'll come in that 12 and 13 personnel with an extra tight end or an H-tight back and put them in the backfield, and you know what they're going to do when they do that, Trent. They're coming inside those A and B gaps, power football.
3rd and short.
Nice.
They go right back to Hansen, and he's got the first down.
Hansen's showing a little wiggle in there to move his chains a little bit. He gets in there and then doesn't see anything immediately, just moves his hips a little bit to the left and finds a little soft spot in that night front.
You know, for a player that the note on him is that he's their best pass blocking running back, he sure has some big playability. We saw him with 57-yard carry earlier in this game, and boy, the last 2, he has really broken free.
Well, you're not going to play for Matt Campbell if you are not a complete player, right? You're not going to be so predictable as to have to come out in pass pro if you're a good runner. Got to do it all.
This is Jalen Jackson back there who gets the give. Spencer, we're seeing immediately, and you kind of thought this would be the case coming in, 2 teams that love to keep the ball on the ground and pound.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be a fast game because of that, right? And so if you could keep them to low possessions, the factor or the point that became more important than anything else was points per possession. With limited amount of possessions, who was going to score on the possessions that they had? Fewer possessions becomes a premium. You've got to score points on those possessions.
Becht has only gone to the air 3 times in this game. Here he is on 2nd and 6, launching for a 4th. Dangerous pass.
Wow. Well, the home crowd was wanting a flag on that one, and I think it was because coverage didn't turn his back and see. And again, if you want to eliminate that possibility if you're playing defense for the night, you got to, in this squat coverage, we know it's clearly man from the top to bottom. You can see that. Outstanding.
For Becht. Sophomore quarterback. has time in the pocket, slant over the middle, and is able to find Jaden Higgins. And as Quadrant Bullard brings him down, he'll be short of the marker.
Rocco Becht can thread the needle. He'll watch him two-step drop, come off the initial read and put it between 3 defenders. That's a rocket right there. Great accuracy.
So they're going to go for it on 4th and 1.
And that shows you some of the urgency that they're feeling. Now, they may be trying to figure out how they're lining up, so they may come off and try to get a better look at what's going on right now. It looks like what they're doing.
Becht under center, trying to get him to jump. Man in motion is Knoll.
They're going to just try to settle in, see if they can pull him off.
Play clock at 10. He's going to keep it. He will get the first down. Didn't get the offsides call, says, no worries, I got you. And gets the first down. Rocco Becht keeping it on the ground.
Exhausted all options available to him. Maybe they can pull him offsides. If not necessary, we've already made the decision. We're going for it. And Rocco pushes that thing up for the first down to move the chains.
Quad set to the right.
How about that? The diamond formation.
Higgins all by himself on the left. It's going to be a swing pass over to Sama, and Sama is going to gain 6.
You won't see that formation into the boundary very often, but again, that's just one little changeup that gives you an advantage here. Still on the right hash, short side of the field. Probably going to work it back to the left side this time.
Here comes the 10th play of the drive, but a timeout on the field first. So we will take a break as well. Be right back with the final 54 seconds of the first coming up.
It's in the waters, a little chum, man. Woo. Today, USC. On the short end.
Tough one to go down at Maryland.
Wow.
Now 3 and 4 on the season are the Trojans. There's Carson Hansen in the backfield. Iowa State already over the century mark on the ground in this ball game. Inside of a minute to go here in the first quarter. They'll play action over the middle. That one is caught for a first down. Inside the 10, Benjamin Brommer, the tight end.
Excellent job of Taylor Miles of showing power formation with those 2 tight ends set up in there and then motion him out. And then watch this. He's going to go out on the island to get man coverage. That tells you something about it. Get your big receiver out there against man coverage.
They go back to Hansen, who bounces it to the left side, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Cyclones. 5 yards to give them a 6-point lead.
Well, that's what you do, Trent. You tee him up, right? You get him conscious of that mentally, understanding it's a power formation scenario, and then you do something totally antithetical to that. Throw to a single receiver away from the detachment. Look at that. That tells you run. Everything about that's inside now. Last formation was just the opposite. They threw it on that. Now they come right back and run it and then hit you on the edge. Just an outstanding job of play selection by Taylor Mauser, first-year coordinator.
Carson Hansen fantasy owners have to be pleased. That's 5 touchdowns in 2 weeks as that one is up and through. So it's Iowa State by a score, 14-7. There were 30 seconds to go in this opening half. What a start to this ball game as Carson Hansen finishes the draw, but 11 plays for 73 yards.
Understanding the inherent nature of the game and then the opponent, I think, being able to respond. The narrative I get out of this, Trent, is that Iowa State is saying, look, we do start off slow typically, but if we can score and we want to score, we can score. And so they're doing it on the ground. Now, they haven't even got to exploit those outstanding wide receivers. In the third prong in that wide receiver triune they've got some talent there as well.
Turn man here, Christian Peterson. Peterson will take it at the goal line there and spin his way past the 20. And they continue to push here, and you see that aggression, Big 12 action there. Someone lost a helmet.
They've got some talent on this team. And listen, they've been unfortunate with some of the departures they've had in recent weeks and days. But they've got some guys down there in South Florida, man, that can play this game of football.
After a stellar opening drive, the last 2 have been stagnant for UCF.
Well, let's see, they've got a chance now, has John Haycock, to figure out exactly what they're trying to accomplish with their quarterback. Let's see if they start to spy him a little bit to try to mitigate some of the ground yardage he's been able to accumulate.
Jacurri Brown was supposed to be the spark. He was that early on, and you're right. We'll see if they can keep that going here. Play fake, goes over the left side. That's going to be caught for a first down plus. On the reception, Javarius Johnson, before Bo Freeler brought him down.
Well, on those edges, it doesn't really matter who's out there on the edges. The corners in particular, either side, have got to be able to understand that these guys are athletic. And if they catch the ball 3-5 yards removed from you, have to play with leverage.
They're a 7-0 lead. They've given them a pair of touchdowns, trying to get it back to Harvey, who is their key player on the offense, just beyond the line of scrimmage, short pickup. But it's this Iowa State pass defense. UCF better run the ball because it's tough to pass the Cyclones.
Well, the thing about their pass defense is it's that odd man front that they have, right? It's a 3-3-5 kind of scheme, and it's really difficult to understand where pressure comes when it does come. And teams subsequently had a tough time throwing against it. It's very difficult.
See Jontez Williams right there, but Bo Freeler, Jeremiah Cooper, these are stars in that secondary as Harvey tries to work his way past the 40 for a 3-yard gain.
Looks like that defensive front is settling in a little bit, not as porous as it was in the early going vis-a-vis the quarterback.
Jeremiah Cooper with that last tackle. Had 5 interceptions a season ago. There's R.J. Harvey right there in the thick of it on 3rd down. The true definition of an every down back. 5 receivers set, including Harvey, who can't catch.
5 wides now. They're going to go 5 vertical concept. They like to throw out of this.
Brown 4 for 6 through the air so far. He's going to tuck it and run. Maybe a design keeper, but he's going to be short of the 1st down marker. Gets to about the 44 on a 3-yard gain, but that's not enough to move the sticks.
Here's where the lack of experience comes in. When you go 5 vertical look and you get nothing on the outside, you have to run it, but this is an odd front. There's only 3 people. You got 5 guys to block them. They go with a directional call. You've got to win that battle. If you cannot win that battle, that tells me something. That John Haycock has figured out how to play that little mush kind of protection with those guys up front to read and react to this quarterback.
Jalen Knoll back to return at the 10-yard line. He'll field it, and now going to cut over to the right side, and he's got a lane. He got a little help with the block as he goes about the 25-yard line, where we will see the Cyclones take back over coming up after the timeout. Iowa State offense take over, up a touchdown. Iowa State had scored just 3 first-quarter touchdowns all year, but they had 2 in this game, and now here they are again after it was UCF that scored in their opening drive.
A little gamesmanship going on. We're reversing the power, coming to the left side.
Handoff up the middle, breaking it to the right side now is Abu Sama, who's got the 1st down and plenty more on the first play, 14 yards.
Now what you're wondering at home, whether or not, why they do what they do when the back moves and shifts from either side. They're trying to declare who the Mike linebacker is. And if you declare who it is and then you shift and they don't move, you get great angles for your offensive linemen up front. And so sorting that out, not shocked they got big gain out of it. The Knights have got to change something up on their calls.
Hand off over to the left side. It's play fake and a pass to the right. That's going to be a 2-yard gain.
Next pass is
complete over to the tight end there.
Great little nice little change up there, which we call split flow. When one back goes one direction and the other back goes a different direction, now you're still trying to affect. And I love the game plan, right? You're trying to affect the ability of the linebackers to hone in on your predominant runs.
It's Tyler Moore who picked up 3 on that last one. Boy, that is a muscle run right there. Taking a shot is Sama. That was from Najalik Kelly and Ethan Barr, who teamed up on that one after the 5-yard gain.
And I'm telling you, he was coming from depth. Patrick Bullitt, he's a player that comes in there occasionally. They move him around a lot in different positions. Big shot there now.
3rd and 3 coming up here for Becht. This is Kelly looking on.
A little tight bunch formation to the field. Probably going that way to the right.
Becht looking over to that right side now. Fires it that direction, but Plummer couldn't bring it in. So a stop for UCF. Iowa State went for it on 4th down once already. Don't think they'll do so again in their own territory. But stranger things have happened in college football today.
Open.
And Jason Johnson slipped, and that's a miss right there. Back to return is Trent Whitmore.
Oh,
let's go with this one. Trying to save it at the goal line, but that's going to end up going for a touchback. Not left without a great effort on that play.
Over and then slip and cause your own injury. Nice.
R.J. Harvey with all kinds of room. R.J. Harvey, he's got no one else to catch him. R.J. Harvey all the way into the end zone. Touchdown UCF, 80 yards.
Man, I'm telling you, this is something special right here. Here's an economics legend for you. R.J. Harvey is inflation. Everybody behind him, real wages. One can't keep up with the other. He's going to hit his head on the goalpost as a result, man. This guy is unbelievable. A long shot specialist, big time, number 7 on the dice.
Right back in this game, I did appreciate the econ lesson. I feel like we're on a college campus. Maybe we should do a little bit of learning here at the PAT.
At 9, but the functional speed he showed on the back end of that run, he's got a 5th gear, partner. He can get after it now.
This game has really been dominated on the ground by both teams. You knew UCF was going to be that, but with Iowa State and those really good receivers in Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, you're just kind of waiting for Becht to start getting outside a little bit.
Once they get through the season without showing their whole hand, tonight they're going to empty their bucket a little bit to keep up with Gus Malzahn's offense.
That was Knoll in motion, and the handoff goes over to Jalen Jackson, who gets hit in the backfield.
You can use it from some of those key opponents like Utah if you're Iowa State's case down the road.
Play at Utah. They still have Kansas State at the end of the season. That poses to be a big one, trying to get it downfield to Higgins, who was just overthrown. To get this 3-game skid snapped and do so in hostile territory. Relying on his defense here on a 3rd and 11.
Inside game pressure.
Becht trying to scramble out of the pocket. Launches across the field. And that's going to win it.
These guys are falling down, trying to get another. This time, a home crowd receiver, tight end working down the field. Over as a running back. Do not cross over with the opposite leg the direction you want to go.
Short punt. It's going to trickle near the 30. At the 32-yard line, where it will finally come to a rest.
It'll put you in his hip pocket, and clearly, as we just saw, run away from you if necessary. So they've got to find a way to shut him down before he gets going.
Iowa State a top 5 passing defense, but 63rd in stopping the run. Keeping it is Brown. He's able to fall forward after the initial contact. Gets to about 38, 6-yard gain.
Partner, when you're playing this odd front with 3 down linemen, let's attack these linebackers right here.
2nd and 4.
Nice.
Launching goes Brown over to the right side. Nearly intercepted. Trying to find Jacurri Johnson.
We deal to get them away from you, right? This guy has a legitimate opportunity to make this play. And but for the fact that the ball is maybe...
Here they are on 3rd and 4. Empty backfield. Just a 3-man rush. Plenty of time looking downfield. Looking for Johnson again. And it falls incomplete in coverage all over him there. Jeremiah Cooper, Jontez Williams.
But I love the idea of doing it. Points per possession, though. That was the strategy.
Knoll back to return.
Already hit the back of a player there.
That hits a player. That's going to be picked up at the 25.
Yep.
And that's going to be UCF ball after it. Like it hit a Cyclone. That was Antoine Jackson. So it's going to be Iowa State football.
Must have got a different number, so I'm not going to put him out there because it looked like it hit the back of his heel to me.
Trips to the right side for Becht in this Iowa State offense. Gibbs goes to Carson Hansen. He's had a whale of a night already after a career game last week.
As it will show you, he'll move the formation, but it's really base play. They're going to run inside zone to the left. A little fake off of that.
And play action. Becht rolling to his right. Gets around the defender, makes his man miss, and slides just short of the marker.
And call pass play off of play action, so it's a fake run, right? So they're going to do everything to make it look like a run and then hopefully get outside that coverage.
33 years old, 3rd youngest coordinator in Power 4 football. 3rd and 4 now. Becht stepping through the pocket, but nowhere to go. Taken down, and a sack. Just the 6th of the season.
Is number 2. He's the inside. Watch him, Big Sexy, working off the edge, arm over underneath with the rip, and then closes that gap.
6'4", 320 on that defensive line, gets the sack. Hunter, it's the 5th of his career. And there's going to be a flag at the end of this play in the backfield.
Now they'll get him running into the kicker. And it's unfortunate because that was a great defensive special teams effort to work around the would-be blockers to get a hand in the way of that foot. But you can see the rushes coming. They pick it up for the most part. Nice inside move there. That's Cam Smith.
Darius Tennyson closing in as well.
Run into the kicker. Defense number 13. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Tougher situation to deal with here.
Whitmore back to return.
Nice.
Good punt inside the 20 to the 15 where Whitmore picks it up. He's able to bring it out to the 22. Gain of 7 on that return. It's going to be a give to Harvey. Harvey reading the room and found a seam. And he's going to get past the 35-yard line before Jontez Williams finally brings him down.
Base disengaged, and he may be holding on a little bit.
Right back to Harvey.
He'll speed things up on you quick.
It's Montgomery in the backfield now, 2nd and 8. Play action, rolling left side, throw across the body, and the pressure was on right there.
See that odd front. Inside linebacker here. Works, IDs.
On from Britt, Iowa, the freshman, made a huge impact last week and forced a 3rd and long here tonight.
Here come the blitz. Got a
Brown
win.
looking left side, and that's going to fall incomplete. Tried to get it to his top target, Kobe Hudson, wasn't there.
Iowa's purchase on the coverage for the Cyclones.
First pass of the game, which been quiet since.
Watch the action of the linebackers, Chris Rawson. When they twist like this, you know it's pressure coming. It's called an inside game and a deal. Twist right there for a moment puts indecision in the minds of the offensive lineman and then affects the quarterback's ability to get the ball off.
Pretty good for a linebacking core that has so little experience. That Iowa State team in 1938. Gentleman Jim Yeager was the head coach. That team started 7-0 in Big 6 play and then tied Kansas State before losing against Oklahoma to close out the season, as Matt Campbell's team was hoping for a different fate than that. Fair catch called to the 15.
It was at least 15 to 20, almost 30 years out of the Gilded Age, and as we paid for it, and Matt Campbell, he is clearly in an age that is truly golden. There's no patina, there's no falseness to what you see in his success and what he's done in the 9 years he's been in this leadership role as head coach.
Pretty remarkable what Campbell has built. A program that's just never seen this kind of success. Good block pickup as Becht was able to just get rid of the football there on the heavy pressure from UCF.
Yeah, and just to close the thought on it, it's just not just the success that's coming. That's a byproduct of the infrastructure that he's put in place to make that success come. He's hard on these kids, to be sure, but he understands in order to get best, you must confront those things that you're short in, and that takes a lot of human will to do that. And to be able to nurture that without offending people these days is really tough. But he's got his finger on the pulse of how to motivate this young generation.
It's about building men first. Wins will come with that, and they certainly have. Give goes to Hansen. 3-yard gain. They say in Iowa, if you build it, they will come, and that has happened for the Cyclones here at Iowa State.
Yeah, but there's a lot of dreams in this field of land here in this part of the country. And that metaphor not unnoticed.
But it is special what's been built, to say the least. And Iowa State hoping to hang on, and they were supposed to have a great team in 2021, coming off of a Fiesta Bowl win. They had Brock Purdy under center. It didn't pan out in 2021, and that's a lesson. Pass over the middle on 3rd and 7. Looks like it's going to be a little bit short. Trying to get it to Brommer. After 6 yards, that's going to be shy of the marker.
Brahmans are a big gun, right? You know, when they try working those tight ends underneath, especially when they get man coverage, they got the little triune right there. Call it a teacup formation, diamond, whatever you want to call it. He goes up and hands catch that, understands the hit's coming imminent, turns his body the opposite direction, and gets as much yard as he possibly can.
Deep in their own territory, Cyclones going to go for it on 4th and 1.
Wow.
Way back there.
They're just going to try to pull him off here.
And from the 24-yard line.
Yeah, this is a little bit too risky right here, in my opinion.
Especially very early in this game, still in the first half, inside of 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Now the timeout comes from Iowa State. They still have 2 remaining. UCF has 1 left. And now that they will punt. Well, they fooled everybody early on in this game. Becht keeping it himself, got the yard, but this far back in their own territory, it's a huge risk.
Well, that's part of what the gamesmanship is all about, and certainly Matt Campbell knows that. Gus Malzahn is 58 years old. He's been having great success. I'm going back to the days when he was with Auburn with Cam Newton. You don't win a national championship and make it through this level without having to think about the game in a way. It's different from time to time, and being able to win different ways. That's what coaching is all about, right? You know, anybody can win if you got the best talent, but when you get guys hurt, you got 7 defections in a 2-week span. All of that affects you. Now, can you still go win with that talent? That's what these coaches are up against, at least as far as the Knights are concerned. The culture's clean here at Iowa State.
Gus Malzahn hoping that change a quarterback could change their season, but when they went for it before, you have to be thinking they could do it again now that they will punt. It's a pretty good one. Fair catch being called at the 26 by Trent Whitmore. So the Knights will take over this UCF program. Back-to-back years, started 3-0. Gus Malzahn's team had a 5-game skid last year, trying to avoid that same fate this time around, and that rushing offense already over 200 yards.
Yeah, that rushing offense is going to put up numbers, man, however they can get them. They were looking for big shots that they came up on the short end when they had man coverage. I suspect they're going to try to come up with formations to necessitate man coverage again against this 3-3-5 structure that necessitates a single safety.
R.J. Harvey spins out of a tackle. I mean, this guy does everything before he's finally flung to the ground by Big Citrus, Dominic Orange.
But it was that initial surge of this Cyclone force that was spinning and turning. Singleton and company, Orange, Peterson, all of those guys up front did a wonderful job of stoning him at the point of attack to allow everybody else to kind of come to the party, right, and to minimize the damage.
Brown able to get back to the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 10 incoming. Hand off to Harvey, who slips through 1 tackle, brings another defendant with him to the 35-yard line before Cooper Ebel gets the tackle.
So now this is an interesting call here because you're in what we call a run conflict scenario. You take a look at this run again that puts him in that conflict. Both tackle and guard are moving and pulling to the left side. They're not covered, so they're free to help and escort. But now you're in what we call a run-pass conflict. 3rd and short. Are you going to throw it? Or are you going to pass it? You're in an I formation with the pistol. Now you're out of it underneath run.
Both teams have struggled on 3rd down, but it looks like they're going to get this one. So that will be a 1st down for UCF. 2.5 minutes to go. Malik Verdon with the tackle, but now a team that loves to run the ball. If you're trying to punch it in before halftime here, you wonder how that clock management comes into play for UCF.
2 minutes and 18 seconds is an eternity for Gus Malzahn team. I don't care who you are. He knows how to use the clock, and he knows and he will throw it if he can. The key is, can he keep them in man coverage?
Just 1 timeout remaining. They'll get the 2-minute timeout after this play.
Nice.
Theoretically, it's a pass over the middle. That's going to be caught. Randy Pittman Jr. on the reception gets across midfield into Iowa State territory.
I tell you, there's no fear in Brown, and there's certainly no fear in Gus Malzahn, and call this route over the middle.
So that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout.
Sarge.
Sounds good, Mike. Appreciate that. How about this UCF team trying to drive in 2-minute offense? Want to take the lead. A lot of pressure there in the backfield on Jacurri Brown, who just gets rid of it.
Well, that's one way to affect Jacurri Brown, is not give him time to set up. And you know that Gus Malzahn wants to take the shot at this point in time, right? So you affect a young quarterback that doesn't have a lot of throws underneath his belt.
Brown just 5 of 12. You know, in talking with Gus Malzahn yesterday, he was telling us that Brown, in his opinion, has an NFL arm. We haven't seen a whole lot of time for him to show that arm. Most of his damage been on the ground to this point. And here's 2nd and 10 inside of Cyclone territory. Play fake over the middle, intercepted. Frailer jumped it, and he got the pick. The team captain, a senior from Colorado Springs, gets the interception, his 2nd of the year.
Well, he was trying to get the ball to Pittman, but that's what we talked about. Part of the first mistake that we see him make. Fakes it with the inside zone. No pressure above and beyond what's there. And there is that man in the middle once again. Freeler all over the ball at the point of attack from that center field position, man. When he comes high out of that hole, one of the things he has to have is range. Didn't necessarily need to use it there. It was just instinct, identify the ball, close on it, and made a great decision.
What a job by Freeler, the safety between Freeler and Cooper. This secondary, and those two safeties for Iowa State are spectacular. And now maybe Iowa State thinking they have some time to try to take the lead going into half. And that was well defended, trying to find his man, and Higgins down the left sideline. B.J. Adams was there.
Well, Brandon Adams, the field corner. And again, they call him the field corner because he will be to the widest side of the field. That means he's the most athletic of the corners that are on the field.
2nd and 10 for the 38-yard line.
2nd and 10 coming up. And this is, you know, for Becht and this Iowa State offense, I would think, how can the Cyclones run in a 2-minute drill is going to be the kind of thing that maybe the committee looking at when they're trying to figure out placement.
No question, that's a great thought.
Becht's going to step up. Gets the first down past the 50 to the 40, takes a shot. What a run by Becht, who was ready to bounce right back up. Tennyson with the tackle.
He took a shot there in the end of it. I sure hope he manages it. He gets up in a lively way, but you know, he's a competitor, man. But watch him pull this ball down and instinctively switches it to the other hand to run away from traffic. They're going pace and tempo, so let's get back here and watch this guy orchestrate this offense.
20-yard run for Becht, now looking through the air. He's intercepted. It's picked off at all kinds of room down the right side into the end zone. A pick six, Brandon Adams.
One of the rare times you'll see a mistake from number 3. He's throwing what we call a 3-quarter field throw. He has to go over to the other side. Check that. He's on the near hash. So it's not as wide as I thought it was initially. Adams just sits on that, squats on it, and plucks that ball from the tight end's hands and heads the opposite direction. Oh, what a change of events right here.
B.J. Adams got his first career interception in the first quarter last week against Cincinnati. That time gets a pick six, 63 yards. As the PAT is up and good, as we saw a clean start to this game, turnover free until you get inside 2 minutes to go in the half. The team's trading turnovers, and it's the Knights who go up 7.
Well, none of us thought that Ted Roof's defense was going to be supplying the difference maker as we came to the half. But here's the thing about it. You've got a chess match on your hands right now. The middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half and the first 4 minutes of the second half, the adjustments will be made, and this game will be won in that framework, I guarantee you, because you've got 2 stellar coaches right here, partner.
Yeah, he's pumped up on the sideline right now. He should be hanging out with the big man, Lee Hunter, right there. And you mentioned Ted Roof. It was about Gus Malzahn getting the band back together. Roof was the defensive coordinator when Malzahn was the offensive coordinator on Gene Chiswick's staff in 2010. Auburn, Cam Newton won a national championship, reunited in Central Florida. And this UCF program trying to take down a top 10 on the road. That man, in many ways, with his offense, could be a magician, but like in his defense, getting him some help as well.
Absolutely. We were talking to Ted yesterday. You know, he said, look, at this point, my next stop is the greeter at Walmart. You know, he says, I want to make sure I'm playing with guys, coaching with guys that I want to coach with. You know, he's at that 60-year mark, around that time period. He's saying, look, I don't want to work with these guys in this time period where guys are running away from the game and being chased away for different reasons. NIL and all that stuff. He just wants to be back with someone that's familiar and competing.
Jalen Jackson takes that about 3 yards out of the end zone and gets absolutely smacked right there. Coming up for that stop, Andrew Harris, the sophomore, laying it.
Andrew Harris hit him like he stole something, folks. That's textbook right there. Had across the body, framed up properly, coming full speed sides, and he just laid it on him. I'm telling you, he brought his hips low and into that and finished. I'll tell you, I call it the element of recency, Trent. The last thing you do, you tend to remember most. Coming in on the halftime, you making big hits like that, you're thinking about it at halftime.
Harris telling Ted Roof right there, hey, forget special teams. I got to be on defense right there. How's he getting the 2 deeps? Long way to go now. 91 yards. Becht will have to go to try to tie this game before the half. They go to Carson Hansen. Gets brought down to the 15. That last interception by Brandon Adams, by the way, the second longest pick 6 in Big 12 play this year.
Well, just to make sure that doesn't happen, they're going to try to get in here in halftime as quickly as possible and be judicious and run that clock down, because on the heels of that end zone shot we just saw a minute ago, you need to get into the halftime to figure out what plan is going to work best in the second half.
Is worth noting, Iowa State has been maybe the best second half team in football. 2nd and 3, cross the plate, and that is going to be incomplete. They're going to say that he was out of bounds, just trying to get it to Burkle.
Yeah, and listen, Trent, I'm telling you, that was a risky throw too, because your quarterback's footwork is not necessarily stable. He does a great job, as Rocco Becht, of setting up and reversing out, but man, that crisscross over, that ball doesn't have a detector on the side to go where he wants it to go then.
Opponents are scoring 4.3 points per game in the second half against Iowa State. So if you're Iowa State, you're thinking, all right, we'll tell UCF, get your points now. They're not coming once we come out of halftime. Run up the right side, and Jalen Jackson's going to be brought down after a short gain. 4th down coming up, and a timeout will be called by UCF. Why not? Give him a shot.
That's Gus Malzahn, man. I told you, if he feels he's got 5 seconds on the clock, he's going to take a shot. He's something else. And listen, his first iteration of offense, going all the way back to his high school days, was really about throwing the ball. You know, that's what he does. But then he had to morph and change. When you started to go to the SEC and get those big body athletic guys that can run it primarily, he said, okay, let's figure out what you can do best. That's what good coaching is all about. Looking at the assets you have available to you and then devising a plan and coaching that up to win, no matter if it's through the air or on the ground.
There's Gus Malzahn right there, who, for this UCF team, has brought some energy with a change of quarterback. Iowa State, Matt Campbell, their head coach. All the talk coming into this game was about the dominance of Iowa State, and many prognosticators believing the Cyclones were a fallen away favorite in this one, and maybe UCF thinking enough of that.
But look at the way he's dealing with this quarterback right here. Conversation, talking to him in a manner that's consistent with the culture and the character. He's been here before. 9 years, he's seen this before.
Got to calm down his sophomores. Fair catch was called right around the 40. Matt Campbell has not trailed at halftime this season, but is 17 seconds away from just that.
I think they were up just 3 against Houston and was able to come back again on the road. And of course, they have been road warriors going back to last year, ending last season with a huge win. And that was the debut of Abu Sama, 270 plus against Kansas State. And they haven't looked back since.
6 straight road wins for Iowa State. A telling sign, but trying to defend Jack Trice Stadium, which has gone silent here late in this opening half. A statement has been made by the Knights that have shown some toughness, as Bo Goodwin gets the tackle there, and that is going to take us into halftime. Matt Campbell, 12 and 37 in his career when trailing at the half. They'll need better numbers than that if number 9 Iowa State is going to come back at home, as Gus Malzahn's Knights really have stepped up in the first 30 minutes. We got a fun one. Our halftime report's coming up. We'll send it to our LA studio with Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho.
Side of the ball, that's for sure. And again, I'm telling you, I'm looking at these defensive players. And I'm saying, how in the heck are they going to handle the respective run games? R.J. Harvey was off the charts. He showed you balance inside, running in those tight spaces, and then able to put people in his hip pocket and run away from them. Maybe not on that one, but certainly on this one, partner. He showed you the functional speed he has on the big end. Couple of touchdowns. And again, Carson Hansen, not to be outdone. He comes back with a little bop himself. Couple of touchdowns, right? Pop him back, double him up time. He does a wonderful job of just sensing where the end zone is, and he can get to the edge too. So once again, big strike capability, the difference here. And I'm telling you, RJ, they got to find a way to deal with them. 178 net yards in this contest. That's been impressive, more judicious by the part of Hansen, but somebody's got to come up with the big play. I call it the middle four. Adjustments made at halftime. The first 4 minutes of the second half is going to be the difference in this game.
How good has Harvey been? If 90 yards and 2 scores is judicious, pretty impressive what R.J. Harvey has done. And UCF 7-4 when he's been over the century mark. They're up a score. Second half coming up next. Football on FS1, sponsored by Hampton by Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Cyclone fans here at Jack Trice Stadium in Ames, Iowa, trying to muster up some momentum for this Iowa State team. And their defense has been the story in second halves on the season. What a job on the year we've seen by John Heacock.
Well, he has been outstanding. And again, in talking to him at practice the other day, just to watch him gush over the personnel that he has, not about the things they do on the field, their athletic prowess and all that stuff. He's talking about watching them grow up. I mean, we talked about some of the players he had, Joe Lanning and some of the other guys that switched over from the offensive side to the defense as a sacrifice to help this ball club out where they were at the time. And to some of the more guys that have been upgraded in star roles and have earned it purely in that defensive role. He's great.
There may not be a better halftime adjustments defensive coordinator that you're going to see, especially with the numbers we've seen from Iowa State, who will have the ball first to start the second half after deferring the opening coin toss, which they won. They will pick up from the 25 here. In the first half, we saw Rocco Becht complete just 6 passes, but if he can get to those guys, those two, Higgins and Noel, are outstanding.
That's been the missing element, right? We have not seen that tandem really be dominant in the first half, but yet they are sitting here, you know, it's a one-score affair, and I think the reason why that is the case is because you've got great balance on offense for them. We haven't even seen much of their tight ends involved. When they get all 3 of those things working together, receivers, running backs, and tight ends, then they become very difficult. But this game is going to be won in the first 4 minutes of this half right now. I can promise you this. You just alluded to it, Trent. These guys are stellar at their halftime adjustments on both sides of the ball.
If Higgins and Noel can get rolling, they are arguably the best tandem in the Big 12. It's been a handoff here. A hard hit is Sama right back at the line of scrimmage. So right away we see Iowa State go to the ground.
And we got guys up there losing their hats, and they've got to be mindful. They got to come off the field if it comes off.
It's Josiah Pierre, who lost his lid, so he steps off after making the hit.
It's a great stick, too. You know, running backs, I don't care who you are. Sama's got great elusiveness, but when you come off the air, your feet, you're less effective and not on the ground.
Becht looking to the air.
Oh, what a defensive play.
Stopped right there, coming up to get in the passing lane was Sean Pace, Cincinnati native.
And we tell you, you know, Sean Pace has got great athleticism. He's got great wingspan as well. Just to be able to stick that long arm out there and bat that ball away just shows you the athleticism that's on this UCF defense.
Pace is their leading tackler on the year. Had just 1 against his ex-team last week, but with a big pass broken up right there. They like PBUs. Becht trying to get out of the pocket. Pressure was on. Hit as he throws, and that's going to be a 3 and out. for Iowa State coming out of the locker room.
Malachi Lawrence, a defensive lineman, number 51, all in his face. And Rocco Becht, you know, the adjustment has been made on the defensive side of the ball. So now check. And that right there, the guy's got some concerns, and they're legitimate concerns, because I guarantee you they thought about finding a way to move the ball down the field. And just the antithesis of that happened on this first series.
Iowa State had a 14-7 lead. UCF 14 unanswered points, including a pick 6 in the final 2 minutes. So it's going to be picked up by Whitmore at the 25, knocked out of bounds right around the 30. Jacurri Brown and this UCF offense coming back against a really stout Cyclone D.
So we've seen what Iowa State's offering on offense has been, and it was met with a very, very determined defense by the Knights. Let's see what the Knights have now on offense as Gus Malzahn tools his guys up. He was frustrated on those last 21 points allowed in the first half, and he had some big strike opportunities, Trent. Missed on a couple of them, but they still got points and the lead.
You're just not used to seeing that. Now, granted, 7 of them were the result of a pick 6, but you still want to see this defensive effort for Iowa State live up to the billing. R.J. Harvey got a man on a mission tonight. He gets 2 on that one. A swarming tackle there by a plethora of Cyclones. Oh, Goodwin, first on the contact.
That was a nice little adjustment. The slot blitz coming off the top of your screen there on the hash. Watch the guy there on the 30. Or he comes in there and does a wonderful job of understanding what's behind him in terms of coverage to get pressure.
It's going to be a keeper. Brown off the gut. Brown trying to beat everybody to the end zone. Closing into the 5. Jacurri Brown goes the distance.
And at the end of it, partner, he ran away from Darren Porter, and the speed here. Watch him come upfield and then put that foot in the ground, come off of his read initially. He's not trying to go through a 1-2-3 possession. This is a design run all the way if those first 2 reads aren't there. And watch him do the brilliant thing and take the angle away from Porter, who's much faster than he is. But because of the shift and the change in angle, he was able to take that advantage away. Oh, just brilliant.
He looked to his sideline for just a second. I'm not sure that he saw him, but a la Seabiscuit 1938, didn't matter if he couldn't see on one side. He was getting into the end zone.
Well, I told us, our team for the break, this game is going to be won in the first 4 minutes. I hope I'm not right. It's been entertaining nonetheless.
Brock Purdy and the Niners.
For the touchdown. Stone cold stunner so far in Ames, Iowa. UCF up 2 scores on number 9 Iowa State, and they have done so dominant on the ground. Their offense has been really good tonight, Spencer Tillman.
And first teams, both of them offensively, has made their statement or their offerings on their first series. It was the Knights who impressed us the most so far. Let's see if the Cyclones have an answer.
UCF scoring touchdowns on the first drive of each half, but looking at this Iowa State team now as they get set to take over, down 2 scores, you have to wonder. You're 6-0 for the first time since 1938. You're coming up on a bye week. Expectations at an all-time high. You're hearing how great you are all week long. You wonder, how do they handle that kind of success?
Trent, that's a wonderful question, man, because you know, you've been around the game a long time. The inner game cannot not be played. Individual players are assessing what you just articulated. They're trying to figure out what things are like, and then the only thing you have to judge it is what the results are. And so far, the results have been in the favor of the visitors.
Going over to the right side, Jalen Jackson able to get to the 35-yard line, and that's going to be good enough for a first down, 10-yard gain.
Now, Jalen Jackson is kind of like that pitcher, right, with that out pitch. He's got a little bit faster twitch fibers in his wrist, right? And he's got the ability to make you miss in those close quarters. And so maybe the pace and tempo is what they're going to try to fight with. But I warn you, with Gus Malzahn, that's his bailiwick, man. That's where he got his start from.
This is going to be a test for the sophomore quarterback in Rocco Becht. He's got 5 options, goes over to the right side, has his man for another first down.
Crowd thinking there's a little something extra going on out there as Hall gets to the sideline.
Able to get it to Jalen Knoll, and that is such a key for them, finding Knoll, and then Jaden Higgins as well has got to get in the mix.
Yellow's corner slot blitz again, and he turned around at Knoll quickly to get that ball in his hands.
Here comes 1st and 10. Becht looking right side, and that one's going to be caught by Higgins. Higgins took a second to hang on to that one, but gets across midfield to the 49. 5-yard gain.
Higgins had it down by his knees down there, but he finally got control of it. You know, he's got great length. He's like 6'4", right? 210 pounds or so, but he runs very exacting routes. But tonight, I've noticed a couple of times when the execution hasn't been right there exactly to give him the best chance to do something after he got the ball seated in his hands. All about execution tonight.
Higgins didn't score last week against West Virginia. That snapped a 7-game streak of him getting in the end zone. Jalen Jackson again, or excuse me, that's Abu Sama rather.
I like what Taylor Mauser's doing right now. He's working a little bit of split flow in the interior game. Sometimes you can do that on the edges to get the linebackers to flow. He's not trying to do that. He's running right at him right now and then trying to hit the edges with some passes. So that's the adjustment on their part.
3rd and 1 from the 45.
This is a nice little twins package for all 4 receivers to the right side in one short motion.
And now they're going to
inside run.
Send more over there too, and that inside run's going to be enough for a 1st down.
All that formation is designed to do, Trent, as you know, is just to get the numbers outside of the box. If you get most of the people out of that area, you run to the voids.
Lee Hunter there for the tackle. We were asking how would Iowa State respond. So far, the Cyclones have been marching.
Yeah, it's the anatomy of their response, right? It's methodical. Points per possession, folks, at home. It takes them longer to get these points. They need to find a way to score faster than this.
Becht rolling left.
Nice.
Good delivery, and that's going to be a 1st down. Able to hit Jalen Knoll, the senior from Kansas City.
Credit Rocco's balance on that last time. He had a similar throw in the 1st half where he couldn't get his footwork together and try to throw it back and nearly had a pick. That way he set up quick enough, got the release, timing, everything was perfect.
18 yards in that last game. Play fake. Nice. Now he goes over the top, tried to get to Knoll again. No flag, and this Ames crowd can't believe it. E.J. Adams, who had the interception, was right there.
Jalen Noel was making his way across that formation. I thought he got a heel on the backside and then reached out with those arms. And that was a bang-bang. It was quick, so. Yeah, I think you let that one sit.
But for Rocco Becht, who completed just 6 passes in the 1st half, 3 completions already on this drive. 2nd and 10 coming up now. It's Jansen to the right of Becht. Play fake. Drifting back, throws it up in the air to no man's land at the sideline. Just got rid of it under immense pressure right there. Coming up, Ricky Barber was right there.
Well, the backside pressure was coming. Kylan Fox and company was in Rocco Becht's face, and that's how you deal with that little action away from the formation. Just come with pressure to the field and forced him to get rid of that ball quicker than he wanted to.
So 3rd and 10 is the 9th play of the drive for Iowa State.
Here comes a little pressure corner. Got to watch the edge here.
They bring 4. Becht rolling to the left side. Is going to tuck it and go. He gets past the 20. That's going to be shy of the 1st down marker, as Josiah Pierre shoved him out of bounds.
Well, Ted Roof had pressure look up front, and then at the last minute just allowed Malachi Lawrence and in particular Lee Hunter, number 2, the defensive tackle, were the only 2 up front, a part of that quad group. Not fast enough to deal with Rocco Becht at front to create the pressure that they did on the previous play.
Ted Roof talks about the importance of winning 3rd down, but now Carson Hansen comes in, and on 4th and 3, the Cyclones are going to go for it.
This is a huge play right here.
Man in motion is Knoll. Rolling right. Becht, pressure on. Gets through a tackle and completes the pass for a 1st down. Jaden Higgins, they're on 4th down, converts.
Well, I think it was another wide receiver, Torrey Holt, who said big plays, big days. And you can see him here throw that ball. Rocco keeps it alive. The ability to make and maneuver in space like that. And that was Deshaun Pace, the Will linebacker who was chasing after him on that particular play. He avoided him and then got the pass completed. Outstanding effort.
Sets up a 1st and goal for Iowa State. Play fake, deflected through the middle, and there comes the flag. Tried to get it to Tyler Moore, and Sheldon Arnold is going to get hit with the flag on that.
Well, that was a good job of Rocco getting that off because he had pressure coming from the backside and obviously on the receiving end.
That's interference. Defense, number 9. Fellow third in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line with an automatic. First down.
Yes, so Sheldon Arnold again gets back there, and you got to be mindful when you get down here in the green area inside the 5. Everything happens a lot faster. They're going to see it as well with those white jerseys against the black jerseys. Extending arms get called really quickly.
They were in the eye, and now Becht will drop back. It's going to be a direct snap to Hansen. Hansen to the end zone, brought down just shy. Arnold there for the tackle.
Quadrant bullet and a whole bevy of guys at the free safety position and in front of him, rallying to the ball. You'll feel tempo right here. Try to push it in with an extra down to give.
Carson Hansen scored their last 5 touchdowns. Becht takes it himself, punches it through. They'll see. Waiting to see where he's at will depend on the spot. And there goes the hands. Touchdown, Iowa State.
Well, Trent, the anatomy of their success is the same. Their possessions, both net and touchdowns. One just took a little bit longer than the other. And then they finally got in with those big bodies averaging 316 pounds along that offensive line. Got in there and just overpowered these Knights up front.
To a certain extent, though, for Iowa State, you didn't need to feel pressure. I know being down 2 scores, plenty of ball game.
Oh, no question about it. Again, the issue is the math begins to work in somebody else's favor if they're able to score with more frequency quicker. That's the only problem. You may be able to match it, but if it takes you longer to do it, points per possession become huge.
It's going to be up to the Cyclone defense to get a stop, and they have sure been good in second halves. PAT up and through, but gave up a touchdown to UCF on their first drive of the 3rd quarter, and the Knights are going to get it when we come back. But the Cyclones respond to the score in a 1-touchdown game. The Cyclones hoping to avoid getting stunned on their home field. UCF has brought the magic, great family atmosphere here in Ames, Iowa.
The people are absolutely to die for here. They're just so hospitable, so nice.
Love coming to Ames, and you look at Iowa State, 12 plays on that drive, very methodical, moved the ball down the field. Not a lot of urgency, but it didn't seem like they were overwhelmed either.
Not a big factor right now. And if it's a case of, well, we just wanted to do it because that's how we're built, that's fine. But when you are playing an opponent that has big strike capability and able to score fast, that's got to be a concern.
It's Peterson back to return, and he's going to call fair catch at the 1. Wow. Was he in the end zone?
What the heck?
We'll see where they mark if they say he was in the end zone or at the 1-yard line.
Did he step out?
They'll say, I guess they'll say he was in the end zone.
Yeah.
So
big fair catch. I think he may have fair caught it. So
yeah, so
that's
okay.
what it was.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
So they'll start at the 25-yard line, where we will see this Knight offense, and their quick strike ability has been impressive.
Party, you just nailed it right there. That's it. If that trait or feature of their ability to score remains consistent, you got to match that.
Campus just 30 miles from Cape Canaveral. They can go blast off, but right there, that was O.J. Harvey.
Well,
Stopped.
Well, John Haycock says, listen, we're going to play complementary defense then. It doesn't matter what our offense is going to do. We're going to match it and get aggressive and play aggressive style to get the ball back in their hands so they will have the time to do what they need to do to score, even if it takes them a little bit longer to do it. That's great complementary football right there. Need another negative play.
Rylan Barnes there for a loss of 3. This time Jacurri Brown lowers the shoulder past the 30. Went 67 yards for a score in their last drive. Second longest run for a touchdown UCF's had.
And that looks like a decent chunk of change there for that run, but it's not quite a true run conflict scenario. I think it's still more of a run pass type situation, and let's see if they choose to bring pressure to get to the quarterback. Whatever they do, they've got to play sound at that nose tackle position.
That was Caleb Brazina that made that last tackle here on 3rd and 4 coming up, looking left side, short. And that's going to be a 3 and out. But for Brazina to be in the game right now, he's been hurt, was dressed for this game, wasn't sure if he was going to play tonight. That's a key linebacker for them. The fact that he's in this game right now maybe tells you how Matt Campbell's thinking about the importance of it being down a touchdown.
Absolutely. Again, because the key was get to that open week and rest him a little bit so you don't have to spell him. But you need all hands on deck right now. The most athletic players need to be on the field because this is a big-time contest right now.
So Iowa State gets a score and a stop. They're going to get it back on the punt here. Fair catch is called at the 24-yard line where the Cyclones' next drive will begin.
I think that last defensive stand was the most significant drive of this game so far, partner. I really believe that it's going to Iowa State a chance to come back. The
touchdown was big, but you're right. The defense in a stop, keeping that momentum the Cyclone way. Rocco Becht, the quarterback for Iowa State, really struggled in the first half, but boy, Spencer in the second half, it looked like on that first drive, he was ready to take care of business.
Yeah, Noel helped him out, and then he helped himself out with some nice, nifty footwork right there. And Higgins on the back end, and of course, he finally getting in on the ground. A nice mix up there, too, on the offensive side of things with Taylor Mauser, the offensive coordinator, mixing things up.
Sophomore quarterback showing that leadership. Hands off to Sala there as he is met by Jacurri Alexander and stopped short of the line of scrimmage.
Jacurri Alexander at that will position. He's usually backing up Deshaun Pace, but man, I'm telling you, they go deep at that position, and they've got some guys that are willing to put their chin strap in there.
So after just completing 6 passes in the first half, goes 4 of 6 on the last drive, has nearly matched the yard total. Becht came out on a mission out of the locker room. Here he goes through the air again, and he's able to get it over Jaden Higgins for a 12-yard gain.
You know, Brandon Adams and those guys deciding to play man coverage out there on the edges, pace and tempo now, trying to get the ball underneath the center to move it downfield. You sense the urgency in Iowa State.
This is a big handoff and stopped. Jalen Jackson. Boy, Lee Hunter has been all over the Cyclone backfield.
I mean, Lee Hunter is a big dude, man. He's got great athleticism. He's 320 pounds, 6'4", but watch number 2. He's in that number 2 because it makes him look sexy, slims him down a lot. But he gets in there, and I'm telling you, Trent, he just shows you his ability to move in laterally inside those close quarters.
Got to do those vertical stripes instead of the horizontal ones.
That's right. Got those old high pockets. He's a football player, man.
2nd and 11 here for Becht. The late handoff to Sama. He's able to push past the line of scrimmage after taking some initial contact there. Ends up gaining 3 yards before Ricky Barber brings him down.
Yeah, I'll tell you, a few players get as much done with this little opportunity. He had both the guard and the tackle pulling on that play for him. But I thought he was going to be dead to rights at the line of scrimmage and then end up getting like 3 yards out of that. Incredible.
Yeah, that was a very impressive 3-yard gain. Still 3rd and 8, though. Iowa State just 2 of 11 on 3rd down.
So they're going to get a timeout here.
So UCF is going to call the timeout. It'll be their first. They'll have 2 remaining. 5 minutes and a second remaining here in this.
Well, I think they had a man coverage look, but because of what was eventually going to happen was motion to that side, they would have been a man short. And you could hear everybody in concert saying, timeout, timeout. You're better to do that than get beat on a big shot and give Iowa State a gift, because right now they're making Iowa State earn it. You look at the mean amount of times it takes them to get down the field on plays. That could have been cut short by that error had they let that play go without calling a timeout.
Especially for this Knights team on the road trying to get a top 10 win. They only have 3 top 10 wins in school history. And trying to do so in a place that's incredibly difficult to come away with a victory. You just don't want to take any chances. You have the game on your terms right now. But that hanging in the balance as well as Gus Malzahn, Park's instructions. Matt Campbell's team got the score and the stop. And if they can put together a drive here, they could really take charge of the command of this game. But this is a big 3rd and 8 coming up. 5 receivers.
Straight man coverage. Somebody's got to win.
The pressure is on. Becht bounces out of it, goes to the right side, testing his wheels, avoids the contact and gets the first down on the ground for Rocco Becht.
And see, that's really a snapshot of what you see Taylor Mauser taking the page out of Gus Malzahn. His quarterback is going to release away from the numbers. All the activity is to the left side of the field. They roll him out, get past Hunter, the guy that's been after him all evening, and then is able to outrun him on the edge.
Becht 106 yards in the air, 63 on the ground now. First set of downs. Looking right side, that's a drop for Jalen Knoll.
Xavier Alexander is going to have a matchup problem on his hands at the will linebacker. If they march out at either a tight end or a slot receiver type body, you're asking a linebacker to cover a more athletic guy. Mauser's going to take that every single day.
So here comes 2nd and 10. It's not used to seeing Knoll drop passes. It just doesn't happen. Jaden Higgins has been so good as well, but it's been tough to find him tonight.
Well, they're showing a lot of pressure looks here. Here he comes up the edge.
Becht looking left side, looking for Higgins. Knocked down, no flag.
Well, I tell you, Brandon Adams, that field corner has been so outstanding out there. Again, back at home, we always kind of underscore this trend because I want people to understand the reason why he's out there. If you're trying to throw the ball to the wide side of the field, there's a lot of pressure on that cornerback to that side. So I need your best athlete out there. That's why he's the field corner.
And with the push from B.J. Adams, it's not deniable. There was definitely contact there. If that pass is up, it could still get caught by Higgins. Back down over the middle, able to convert it. That's a dangerous place to throw it, but Knoll hangs on this time.
Oh, Sheldon Arnold, the free safety, number 9. And again, that ball was coming, and Knoll had to choke his motor a little bit because he would have got it handed to him, man.
Jalen Jackson, the running back, into the game here on 4th down. 4th and 3, they'll go for it again. Iowa State's had this twice already. They've converted both.
See, right now, the out cut is there for the tight end in the slot position. They've got to find a way to cover that.
Becht gets out of the pocket, runs for the first down. And Rocco Becht leading this Iowa State offense with his legs.
Well, he's taking his time, right? And he's taking advantage of the opportunity. They put this ball squarely in the hands of their captain, number 3, Rocco Becht. Becht is coming to the line of scrimmage. Check with me, seeing where the bodies aren't. Numbers are not on the field right now. He's been a field general.
Back to Jalen Jackson for a short pickup. And that run, Becht needed 3. He got 6. He's done a really good job running the football, but we're still waiting for this Iowa State passing attack to step up.
Right now, they're winning the personnel battle. Ted Roof had a tough time getting his proper personnel in. And when you're not lined up, you can't play fast and win.
2nd and 9, 11th play of the drive. Becht looking right side, overthrew his target.
Next pass is incomplete. Jalen Noel.
Noel and Higgins both in the neighborhood. Noel was the man he was looking for, but nowhere close.
That ball was high and away, as they might say in your other field. And nice little in-cut route on an arrow underneath. Oh, that's a natural pick there. That play should have been wide open, and that would have been a touchdown, man.
All kinds of room for Jalen Noel if that would have been brought in, but throw was off the mark. 3rd and 9.
Got off coverage here. It's man, but it's off coverage. Got to get to home.
Burkle's in motion. Becht stays up. Gets away from the tackler. Hunter now throws downfield. Caught by Sama. And a first down on a broken play. Huge right there for Iowa State.
Becht gets up a little bit slow, but my God, enjoy this, folks, at home. Watch him avoid Hunter, his dear friend, who's been hunting him all day. A late hit there in the back end. I don't mean literally late, but it was as the ball was being delivered. Rocco got up a little bit slow, but this guy right here's got that red S on his jersey right now, man.
This is where you dig down deep and find that next level. Down a score at home late in the 3rd quarter. I formation. Sama all the way back, and there's a flag before the snap.
They may have to bring this one back 5 yards motion.
5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So one of the least penalized teams in America will scoot back 5 yards. Their first penalty.
How about that?
Comes with minute 55 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, they're playing awful clean, and then that's rare that you see those penalties there. I just keep coming back to another double-digit drive.
Iowa State has had some long ones where it's been the quick play ability of UCF. Some on the handoff is going to take a defender with him a couple extra yards, but just gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Quadric Bullard there, along with Dalen Dotson for a 5-yard gain.
Tell you about these guys who've got the ability to run and chase. Watch Dylan Dawson, number 15, come from all the way to the far side of the ball to make this play, partner. He comes and tracks him down, doesn't give up on it. May have to take a little bit different route, but he finally gets home, coming from the far side of the play to make that. That's outstanding. High engagement level by these Knights.
UT Martin transfer on a team that led the OVC in rush defense a year ago. That's why he's here now. Pass through the middle. That's caught. Touchdown, UC. Iowa State gets through the UCF defense. Jaden Higgins there for the score.
And Trip, they owe as much to that drive and the success therein to what their defensive coordinator, John Hickok, did for them. Cutting it short on the back end to give them this opportunity. From the slot position with off coverage, gets squat down, and then with that loose coverage is able to just make a little cursory move to get the ball placed right where it needed to be. And you're not going to win against that guy on the other end.
Jaden Higgins now with scores in 8 of his last 9 games.
Oh.
The PAT's blocked.
Oh, how huge that's going to be.
The PAT would have tied it. It gets blocked. And the Knights keep the lead. Jason Johnson got in there to knock it down. Big play right there on special teams. Ames is rocking on a Saturday night in the Big 12, but it's UCF still up a score after the PAT was blocked. He's Spencer Tillman and Trent Rush. What a game this has been as Higgins finds a way into the end zone in another long drive for Iowa State.
Yeah, you know Higgins was going to score once he got down there off that off coverage. He's got a big frame, 6'3", 213 pounds or so, something like that. If you get a running start, the physics just works in your favor, right? If you're back and you're 5'10", 197 defender.
UCF by 1. Start of 4th quarter here in Ames, Iowa, number 9. Iowa State down at home.
So the question is, does a traveling quarterback getting his first big start in a huge role crumble under the pressure?
3rd and 5 here. His mostly run tonight. This time goes through the air and missed his man, R.J. Harvey.
Well, he may not have crumbled under the pressure, but Joey Peterson put some pressure on him. And he comes from that outside edge, number 52. Gets pressure in his face and makes the errant pass necessary and rush the throw.
For Brown, just 5 of 15 through the air, 44 yards. He's done a good job on the ground, 120 yards and 2 touchdowns. The ground game has been elite for UCF. At least it was in the first half, but R.J. Harvey really stifled in that.
They clearly made the adjustment in the run game, and so that's a win for them. I mean, to shut Harvey down the way they did at the Monsters is impressive.
Meanwhile, Rocco Becht, back-to-back, really strong drives, leading Iowa State, just marching methodically down the field.
Taking the opportunity and avoiding the big nimbus has been a problem for them all day. Hunter, number 2, working on the outside, turning into a running back and being smart and getting down when he needed to, and then finding the ability to avoid and extend plays and create for those downfield. Osama on that receiving end, when he found his receivers, the big fella inside. I mean, I just did a wonderful job of just detailing to you exactly how many different people he got the ball in the different ways. This is just a clinic.
Some big 6 football right here. Ball gets handed up the gut. That was Sama with nowhere to go. Jacurri Alexander and Ricky Barber both in the neighborhood as we see Iowa State at home. First time as a top 10 team this year. It's the 4th time in school history. Going into a bye week, it's not just about handling success. Now it's about how do you handle the pressure.
That's right. Place you don't want to be in second down behind the chains with a nice little creative blitz.
Yeah, free lane, but slipping there was Marshall. And that's going to leave enough room to see Rocco Becht pick up 9.
Well, if you bring those exotic corner cap blitz, man, you better come down. You got a down Knight that's injured on that play, and they're going to have to call a timeout here.
And that was Isaiah Nixon that's down. And he is in some serious pain.
We've seen guys slipping all night long. Not quite sure if that was an impact injury or if that was a result of a kind of a self-fall, but clearly he's in pain.
We saw the nickel and Braden Marshall coming from that left side just take off at Becht, and it looked like he slipped a little bit trying to get to the quarterback. Just hoping that Nixon's all right as he's been attended to by the medical staff. The athletic trainers at UCF. That left hand wrist as he comes off the field. So they will mark Becht down at the 31. That's going to mean 3rd and 4 coming here. 3rd down has not been kind to Iowa State. Just 4 of 14.
Let's see if they can get pressure off that rush side from that defensive position that was just vacated. Malachi Lawrence is into that left tackle spot. He's in a stand-up position. That's the side they're going to need pressure from. That's the weak side.
Becht out of the shotgun. Pressure is on. Gets away from it. Has the first down and moves the sticks for the Cyclones. Jacurri Alexander there for the tackle.
Partner, here's what we're just talking about a minute ago. And then, you know, Malachi was sitting on the outside. Lawrence, number 51. You can see him here in a stand-up position. He goes inside, and guess what? Becht goes outside. Run where they ain't. It ain't rocket science, man. Did a wonderful job of taking advantage of that and just being a football player.
The aerial attack for both sides really has been a struggle, but credit both these quarterbacks. They've done a good job on the ground. Compelling ball game. That's going to be a give to Sama up the gut.
Wow.
Sama still going past the 40 where he's swarmed at the 39-yard line. 22-yard gain.
Shades of Farmageddon against Kansas State, man. The other guy gets in the middle quicker than most get-backs I've ever seen. He does a wonderful job of the inside. That's Brandon Black and company at the right guard, number 51, of opening that inside run for him. That lane gives him the ability to use that quick twitch fiber and get through for a big game.
So much balance in that Iowa State backfield. Man in motion's Klotz. Right back to Sama. This time trying to go to the outside, nothing doing. Good coverage there by UCF.
See, that's the reason why I like those quick inside hitters against this defense, because they've got lateral, I'm going to call it other coast speed. They've got that Florida, West Coast, East Coast speed over there, man.
So it looks like there's another injured Knight.
Like Alexander now.
It looks like Jacurri Alexander, the sophomore from Auburn, Washington, and transfer from Idaho. A lot going on in the Big Ten, and we saw Nebraska say they bounce back.
How about Indiana, man, today?
Indiana looks for real, don't they?
They really do, man. They just got something extra. The two backs that they have are outstanding. I don't think there's an answer for them. Lawton and company, they just are so strong.
It's been no problem for the unbeatens throughout this day in college football, though tonight we have seen not one but two teams jeopardy of losing their unbeaten records. Iowa State, one of them, down right now, but through the air, incomplete. Was trying to target Higgins, who he hit last time for a score, but that one just a bit overthrown.
And that's unfortunate, too, because he had exactly what he needed in terms of the coverage. It's off-man coverage. You're going to split those two defenders at the top with a vertical route. It's just a go ball, right? That safety has a long way to go to get over to affected. And I love the way Higgins just kept that route vertical instead of bending it in and taking the angle away from the safety who's playing center field.
Third and long.
Empty backfield now, 5 wide.
Becht across the middle. It's intercepted. It was through the hands and picked off. Now going the other way. The Knights, a second pick six on the Knights. UCF, Braden Marshall all the way for the score. 70 yards.
Well, Braden Marshall is going to give you a history lesson. This is the Marshall plan right here. Step in front of the guy that would happen off the carom. Just Johnny on the spot in the right place. That's it. I mean, maybe you say the ball would place the numbers in front of him so that the ball isn't errant and doesn't pop off. But, man, the awareness of Braden on that play to ID the ball, pull it in, and take it to the house. Oh. Ooh, he may have dropped it before. Somebody had to challenge that. They ought to challenge that. They ought to be all over that. Yes, doctor.
Kept possession of the ball beyond the goal line.
Oh, yeah. He threw that out. Oh, my gosh. Holy Toledo. Partner, that's clear. He dropped that ball.
It was short. It was short of the goal line for sure. And that just, boy, that's the kind of thing that, you know, a defensive player doesn't get a whole lot of chances to get into the end zone, but that is a huge, huge mistake for UCF.
Boys and girls at home, Pop Warner, man, don't do this. They're going to look at it, but what they're going to come up with is the fact that he was a clear half a foot out of the end zone when he dropped and dislodged that ball himself. Oh.
No one around him. Let's bring in Dean Blandino to see if he sees what we saw. What's going on, Dean? What did you see on that?
You know, I know an old running back like Spencer Tillman would have better ball security than that. He clearly drops the ball short of the goal line. Now the key is what happened to the football. Did somebody recover it in the end zone? Did it just come to rest in the end zone with neither team trying to recover it? If that's the case, this will come back to the spot where he dropped the football. That's the key. Who recovered it? If no one did, then it'll come back. It'll still be UCF's ball, but at the spot where he dropped it. This will be the good look here.
So you think about maybe on the half-yard line or somewhere around there?
Half-yard line. You can see.
Nobody touches it.
Nobody touches it. Nobody picks it up. Yep.
Thank you very much, Dan. Appreciate the clarity on that. So still a big break for UCF to get the interception, but it's not going to be a pick six. We'll see what these officials have for us. David Alvarez, our lead referee tonight here at Iowa State.
Well, I just keep coming back to that axiom of the game. Big games are lost, not won. It's usually a mistake as Gus Malzahn is kind of sorting it out.
The runner dropped the ball at the 1 yard line, fired across the goal line. But there is not an immediate recovery. There will be first and goal from the 1 yard line for UCF.
Dean nailed that.
Of course he did. Of course he did. Come on. And that's a learning lesson.
Yep, sure
on a play
is.
like that.
Yep, and the film don't lie. You know, they'll sit in the room and talk about it, and depending on the outcome of this game occurs, if it was an opportunity lost, squandered, it's going to be a lesson learned in either case.
There's a lot of UCF fans that want to see the Knights punch it in here. Nobody in the world more so than Braden Marshall.
No question about it.
So Brown will line up under center. It's going to be a give. They go to Harvey, who gets into the end zone. Touchdown UCF, so they do get their score. After all, took an extra play, and you know, Marshall may not like it, but Harvey says, yeah, I'll take the numbers.
And he did him a big favor, because I can tell you, man, memories like that, if they were not able to get it in and somehow Johnny Heacock's defense stood up and prevented them from scoring, that thing sticks in your mind a long time, brother.
Second touchdown tonight for Harvey. PAT is good, and that's going to mean an 8-point lead for UCF after Iowa State, who had scored on their last drive, missed the PAT. This is a huge interception.
Well, the PAT looms, but what makes it even opportunity possible is that little pilfer right there, the steal.
We got an upset alert going on right now. UCF in command. Trent Rush with Spencer Tillman. The mascots enjoying a thriller here late night in the Big 12 Conference. It's UCF up a score. 8-point. Were they trying to text each other?
I don't know what they were doing, man. They're too friendly for me.
I see a little animosity with the mascots.
That's more like it right there.
Eli Green able to take it to the 26-yard line before he gets leveled. There's no love lost on the field of play. They may be having some fun in the stands. Ames a very friendly place. It's easy to feel that.
It's a wonderful place. The people are great. This is heartland stuff
Yep.
right here, man. This is good stuff.
Meanwhile, Rocco Becht, who had just 3 interceptions on the season coming into tonight, has been picked off twice. Once went for 6. The other led to a touchdown. It was very nearly a pick 6. Becht has done a lot tonight to keep drives alive for Iowa State, and they're going to need him to continue more of that here down by 8.
And maybe just a little bit more accurate on some of those plays, particularly the touchdown that was brought back with the carom off target.
Back through the air.
Oh, those are tough.
Another incompletion. Trying to get it through to Jalen Knoll.
Yeah, it's one of those hot balls, man, that's coming. And I think Jalen Knowles, I think maybe these receivers, they need more frequency. I think they need to catch the ball more. There's too much water in between the times when they catch the ball. Obviously, in the period now where it's necessary, they're doing it. Yeah. They're throwing it, right?
It does seem like, too, there have been a lot of plays over the middle, like a lot of slants trying to get in there. That's a tough play on receiver.
And it makes you think twice, too. I don't care if the most courageous guy knows trouble in there.
2nd and 10. Becht
Nice.
completes this one to Higgins. And Higgins going to be brought down just past that yellow line. Braden Marshall knocked him out of bounds, but a first down for Higgins.
And I like that play selection right there by Taylor Mauser, because it's an outcut, right? It's a safe play, high percentage. If the ball caroms or comes off, it's off the mark underneath. It's going out of bounds, as opposed to being in the middle of the field where it gets gobbled up by somebody in tight coverage or even in loose coverage, but in close proximity.
1st and 10 from the 39 after that 12-yard completion to Higgins. Sama on the give, a zone read. He takes it, gets to the 40. Brought down after a gain of 1.
Sama right into the hands of Jamal Johnson. You know, that big tackles are in there, man. And I thought he was going to sift through there and end up breaking it or bouncing it right into the waving hands of the big fella.
Another 2nd and long, and that was a big key we spoke with Ted Roof about earlier this week. It's about winning 3rd down, but you have to be great on 1st and 2nd down to have long 3rd down situations.
To create these predictable scenarios where they need to throw it.
Play action fake now. Becht looking downfield, has a man. Knoll got him. Down to the 10.
Boy, I just love to see this, the beaten double coverage on the back end. Again, we see Rocco Becht's ability to extend the play with his lateral ability to move. The impact on the crowd, certainly appreciating his skill set. Now pace and tempo.
51 yards, sets up a 1st and goal. That's knocked down as a forward pass.
That was Dylan Dotson, man, getting those big mitts up there, batting that one down. Listen, there's no quit in this night defense. That stop unit is something special, man. We've seen them affect the pass. Hey, look, if we can't get to it, we can at least get our hands up in the air, right? Maybe I can't get home, but I can get my hand up in the air and deflect that pass. Outstanding defense for Dotson.
Top 5 in the FCS a season ago in tackles for a loss. So we see his ability to get into the backfield. That last pass play for Becht that went 51 yards, maybe the biggest of the night for Iowa State. This is going to be a handoff. And getting dropped shy of the end around. Knoll was the one who took it. Short of the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
Josiah Pierre in the backfield there, showing his athleticism to get back there and be disruptive. You can see him here again. Watch him against this 4-man front. He's standing back here in the middle. And he's eyeballing it. An inside game gives him permission to flow naturally to that hole, and he does it. Has total permission because that defensive tackle is going inside. They basically cross responsibilities and frees him up.
3rd and goal, but the Cyclones have 12 yards to go. Trips to the right. 4-man rush, end zone, incomplete.
There that guy is again, Dylan Dotson in his face, putting pressure. Getting that ball off before he wants to do it. Tennyson and company, number 13 involved.
He's trying to get it to Tyler Moore, but it was up. And a lot of pressure, and now we'll have to see the Cyclones settle for 3.
And this is obviously huge here. Would have preferred a touchdown, but this is, I think the mean amount on their drive is about 9-12 or something close to that. So you got, let me see, 670. About 640. They're going to have 2 more possessions.
Here comes the freshman Kyle Conradi, who had a game winner in the Cyhawk game earlier this year against Iowa. So the 30-yarder will turn into 35. Conradi's made from 54 before, so he's a strong leg as a freshman.
It's the inner game, though, man. He's going to probably knock it through, but it's just the fact that you got to redirect that energy.
Told some folks in camp he's good from 60.
We'll give it right back to him. So that good.
Jason Johnson chasing offsides.
Defense, number 27, unbeaten as a quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Fourth down.
It was Jason Johnson that blocked the PAT, right. So you know that he was amped up to try to get back there. So back to a 30-yard attempt here coming up. Conradi with that block PAT earlier, just the 2nd time they haven't converted an extra point this year.
They're coming with the rush off that left side, man.
There comes from 30, and he drilled it. So Iowa State chips away, still down 5. UCF getting the ball back inside of 9 minutes to go in this ball game. UCF turning up the heat on Iowa State here in Ames, Iowa, trying to take down a top 10 team. Just the 5th time in school history the Cyclones have played a game as a top 10 team. They're 1-3 so far, and even after that win against Northern Iowa, went and lost the very next week against their rival in the Hawkeyes. It's about handling success, and we'll see how the Cyclones can do that, not just tonight, but this season.
It's about inflection points. When you're building culture and you've gotten to a certain level, what can you break through? What is the line of embarkation? Is it beating as an AP top 10 team, going to that next level? What is it that defines your success?
You can't help but not talk about the playoff, and when you are a top 10 team and the playoff gets expanded, and the kind of season Iowa State has had, 6-0 for the first time since 1938, trying to match their best start in school history back that same season. 7-0 would be that.
Yeah,
Matt Campbell's gone through it, but have his players? That's the question.
No question. And yes, he's gone through it, but I think the adoption of this iteration of his team has learned the lessons of the past of 2020, and in other years in this 9-year stretch that he's had here. This team is mature. They can handle it.
Quarterback keeper for Brown, who gets the first down and a pickup of 12. Brazina brought him down. UCF 314 yards rushing, 44 passing. Handoff now to Harvey. Stop shy, gains a yard.
That's a huge win on first down again, as that clock continues to tick. And what it basically does from a confidence standpoint, we know that this Knight team has got explosive power. They're a running team, don't have a lot of yards passing, just 44, but they still somehow manage to score points. That is indicative of a Gus Malzahn coach team.
5 receivers set. Now Harvey comes back there and joins him in the backfield. Short pass. It's complete over to Javarius Johnson, but he's stopped immediately. Cooper coming up for the tackle on a 4-yard gain.
Cooper in close proximity, exactly where he needed to be with inside leverage.
Big third down, 3rd and 5.
Huge.
Brown is going to let it fly, goes way downfield, overthrows his target. And now they'll have to punt. What a big stop for Iowa State.
Huge. Brown just had a little bit too much underneath that, but he had a man-in-man coverage. And every opportunity, a big shot he's had tonight, he's had a receiver, if he's just more accurate with it. And that's one of the requisite throws you've got to make at this level or any level, deep with accuracy.
This is Jacurri Brown's first start as a UCF Knight. Started the bowl game for Miami a year ago. Punt's going to be inside the 20. Fair catch called by Knoll to 15.
So now the teams who play cleanest are going to win it. From here on out, it's about how you play clean. Again, I think that Iowa State is in the position now where they feel comfortable. 7:31. They're going to take their time. The mean of their possessions has been around 5:45, almost 6 minutes, a little bit over. That's in their wheelhouse. They think that they can navigate down the field.
Getting a quick stop essential for Iowa State. They have not really shown the ability to be that big play, quick strike team. They have had some big plays on this season, but as far as this game is concerned, it's been very methodical. But they have plenty of time, as you said. 7:31 to go. Empty backfield here for Becht. He's got 5 targets. He's going to throw to the left side. He gets it through over to Knoll, who's able to gain 8 yards on first down, brings up 2nd and 2.
Another fairly safe play. You know, anytime you throw the ball, Trent, you know 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad, right? It can be incompleted or intercepted. We've seen that tonight. But this is a short side of the field to an inside slot receiver on an out cut. So that means if the ball does go errant, it's going out of bounds. The thing you cannot do is undercut that and allow that defender to get underneath it and pick it.
It's going to be a keeper for Becht. He's got the first down to the 30-yard line. We'll move the chains.
Everybody's trained in number 24. They're trying to. Abu Sama's the guy that's threatening them, and he did a great job with that big gut play he had in the previous drive. And they're concerned about him. So you had a lot of numbers chasing him. Meantime, Becht going the opposite direction.
He marked out at the 28. Becht will get a fresh set of downs. A sophomore who broke all of Brock Purdy's freshman records a year ago, trying to lead this Cyclone squad in a huge matchup here tonight. Doesn't get out of the pocket. Was looking downfield. Dalen Dodson all over him. Back behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 4.
Well, a direct snap, it comes straight to him, and again, it's empty back there. No help to support him protection-wise. But offensive line has got to understand that he's got no running back in the backfield to help out. If they get through, it's going to be an ominous outcome for number 3. That right there has been active tonight.
Boy, every play feels so critical right now for Iowa State, trying to protect their unbeaten record. Pump fake, keeps it, takes a hit, gets to the 30, so a 6-yard gain before Deshaun Pace brought him down.
Rocco Becht looked over there in that screen. It was an intentional screen and thought otherwise, man. That was a great decision on his part not to throw it in that traffic, because that would have been headed the opposite direction. Check that wristband and try to get a play that works. Price and company hoping they throw it his way. This is a big play, man.
3rd and 8, the 3rd down back is Jalen Jackson. Man in motion is Burkle. Beck stepping through the pocket, runs out of time and is brought down. Malachi Lawrence with the sack.
Lawrence coming back on his upfield rush and turns around and peels. You got a tackle out there blocking, trying to make something happen. That's Jalen Travis, number 72. And you can only hold him so long, man. He redirects and comes back underneath. Excellent job.
So UCF gets the stop. Rugby punt takes a Iowa State bounce and is going to trickle all the way to about the 25-yard line, where UCF will try to drain some clock. Final 4:30. Can the Knights pull off the upset on the road? It was UCF to strike first in this game before Iowa State came back with a couple of touchdowns. It's been seesaw since, but the Knights have been in command as they try to pull off the upset of number 9 Iowa State on the road here in Ames and hand the Cyclones their first loss of the season. They have 4.5 minutes to try to protect a 5-point lead, as Matt Campbell's team end up unhappy tonight, trying to get it to Harvey, who gets flung to the ground in the backfield. Rylan Barnes all over him.
Barnes had help and company, and those linebacking corps, they're down to the 3rd level, man. They're showing up big time. Watch Barnes right here, number 41. Come and sift through, read and reaction. He sees the flow and then stays in the pocket, in his lane, in his run fit, plays with integrity and finishes.
5 receivers here on 2nd and 12.
Expected pass, just a 3-man rush here.
Brown is on long passes, keeps it himself, breaks a tackle, and gets the first down. He's still going past the 40, and a huge breakdown through the Cyclone defense. A 20-yard gain for Jacurri Brown.
A mobile quarterback, bane of their existence, man. You got to contain him with just a 3-man rush. Everybody has to maintain integrity, and big number 11 Brown gets in there and shows you his athleticism. That's huge. The clock becomes the enemy for the home team.
Iowa State does have all 3 timeouts remaining. You wonder when Matt Campbell's going to start using them. You also have the 2-minute timeout coming up.
Well, according to my math, they can't afford another first down. They give up another first down, it's tough.
As Gus Malzahn tries to complete a stunner here in Iowa. A timeout called, or a flag first, rather.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Clock will start on the snap.
Malzahn none too pleased, giving back 5 yards in this situation. Inside of 3 minutes to go. 1st and 15. Brown gives to Harvey. Harvey gets a seam, sheds a tackle. Across midfield is R.J. Harvey, maybe his biggest run of the second half.
Well, they cracked the code on Harvey for the most part, but here at the back end of the game, he's been revitalized and finding a new life to extend this game for the Knights. Watch him bounce it this here, crossing formation, even with pressure coming in his face. He finds a void and then is able to exploit that and get upfield for positive yards. Oh, that was huge.
It was Jontez Williams who finally brought Harvey down, but now 2nd and 3 from midfield. Brown, everybody's closing in, gives it to Harvey, who gets through, and he gets the first down. What a tough run right there for R.J. Harvey. Needed 3, got 4.
What a beautiful job of incorporating option football into the game. Brown did a wonderful job of riding it and leaving it in the belly of his running back, Harvey. At the last second, he pulls it out naked. Perfect by the script.
So Iowa State will call their first timeout of the second half here. They'll have 2 remaining, plus the 2-minute timeout coming up in just a moment. A massive first down right there for R.J. Harvey, one of the nation's leading tailbacks, leads the Big 12 in big plays, leads the conference in touchdowns. He's been in the end zone twice tonight. And what a job the Knights have done on the ground, both Harvey and Jacurri Brown.
Yeah, they've done a wonderful job, and I just have to honor the coaches in this one. I love Matt Campbell, expect the world of, think the world of him. But Gus Malzahn is 58 years of age. He's been around the block many, many times, and I've seen him navigate this space. And it comes back to the old axiom: the crisis doesn't make the team or the person. It merely exposes who you are. When your back's up against the wall, you're going to find out what your composition is, what you're made of as a play caller. You know he's about as good as it comes, man, designing plays.
UCF won their first 3 games of the season. They entered tonight having lost 3 in a row. They'll take on another unbeaten in BYU next week. Be a whole different matchup if they hold
Your boy
here.
Barnes again.
Yeah, Barnes gets in the midfield. Yeah, all taken down Jacurri Brown. Harvey, a season high in rushing yards. Hey, tomorrow, what a big day it is. An NFL doubleheader on Fox. First at 1 Eastern, the Lions take on the Vikings, or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, it's a Super Bowl rematch as Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs battle Brock Purdy and the Niners, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
How about the former Cyclone, Birdie, man?
Boy, they're proud of Brock Purdy.
Absolutely they are. He's an icon and well-deserved. And what a great model at that level and this level. Wonderful parents.
Brock may be sweating a little bit right now. Iowa State calls a timeout.
Brock's not the only one sweating, I guarantee you that. Not just these fans either, these coaches on that other side. And that's about as cool as it gets, man. I like his game, like what he's about. This is one of those tough ones here, though.
Only 2 seconds came off the game clock on that last play, so Iowa State able to call another timeout. So it's going to be 2nd down and 11 here with 2:06 to go. You still have the 2-minute timeout, and Matt Campbell just trying to find a way to get as much time as possible for Rocco Becht in this offense to try to march, and they'll have to march quickly in a 2-minute.
And I've been beating the dead horse, but I have to continue to unpack the fact that it is the anatomy of their success that becomes a problem in this situation with just 2:06 on the clock. Average amount of time that they possess the ball on their drives, somewhere between 6 and almost right at 7 minutes. You only have 2:06, right? So if the pattern holds, the math becomes predictable.
Seems like every time Iowa State, with the exception of once, have needed to get a scoring drive, it's taken them a long time to do it. 2nd and 11. Brown, late give to Harvey. Harvey unable to get through the tackle. So he is brought down at the 45. Jacob Ellis there to finish the job. 2-yard gain. There is the 2-minute timeout. So we will step aside. Iowa State in some trouble at home. The Knights trying to pull off the upset. R.J. Harvey, a career night, 196 yards as we name our hardest working player, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. R.J. Harvey has made Iowa State pay tonight, trying to hang on to a 5-point lead with 2 minutes to go. Cyclones have 1 timeout left. A first down would likely end it. It's going to be short. 4th down incoming. So Iowa State will get a chance but will be in need of a miracle.
Iowa State, the third and final time out of the half, 60 seconds remaining.
What a great play by Malik Verdon, man, coming down there and just submarining that play and stifling that opportunity. Gus Malzahn looks to dial up another creative play to push the chains.
And when you think about the season for UCF, not just the record and the losing streak, a change in quarterback.
Yep.
Players have left the program, redshirting to transfer. They've gone through all of it, and it has been a dramatic roller coaster season for Malzahn. But to go on the road, and now a minute and 55 seconds away from doing something that's only happened 3 other times in school history, that would be beat a top 10 team. And to do so on the road would just be a remarkable turnaround for a Knights program that really had been spiraling.
And it's a leverageable narrative too, not just for the program. Anybody looking at the job that he's doing and the context that you so beautifully painted, Trent, to overcome that is amazing. You know, so that's the essence of what football is like. It's like life, nothing but a series of problems that you got to find answers to. And today, that guy right there, Gus Malzahn, has found answers to all of the problems that have come his way in this game.
Not over yet. Knoll back to return. The punt. Mitch McCarthy back there to take it.
Got to hang this one high, make him work for it. Need a directional kick to the left here.
Punt block is on. It's going to go over to the right side, and it's going to bounce into the end zone. So that's going to give life to the Cyclones. They're out of timeouts. They have a minute and 48 seconds, but much better field position than they otherwise could have had.
As an old special teams guy, man, made my living in the NFL, I think that was a poor decision. You need to directional kick that ball and make them work for it and try to get some backspin on it to lay that little Mac Daddy 9 reverse spin on it back there about the 5-yard line and pin them in that end zone.
So from the 20 goes Becht. He's got elite receivers, Higgins and Knoll.
Here we go.
Will he find it? It's Jackson in the backfield with him. To the air goes Becht. Gets the pass through.
That dog will hunt. That's a good 6-7 yards there.
Carson Brown taken down by Ethan Barr. Gets out of bounds, you're right.
So then now they've got a down to give. And so maybe Mauser goes with something a little creative here. Work the boundary, something safe.
Taylor Mauser, the 3rd youngest offensive coordinator in Power 4 football, has taken over, has earned it from within. Now trying to lead this drive. It's Becht. Makes an offensive coordinator's life a little easy when he can do that. That moves the markers a first down.
And the anatomy of this drive is taking on a totally different tenor of the previous drive. You see the urgency that's induced in this drive? That's what they need on the previous drives.
8-yard gain from the 36. It's Becht looking left. Goes downfield, incomplete.
Oh, good miscommunication.
The only good news on that is it was quick.
Yeah, you had your tight end underneath. I'm just not quite sure if it was a communication problem. Because he threw it with intention. It was not like he had a string on the end of that ball. It went out like it was headed to a place it was supposed to go. It's just not like the team to make that kind of mistake. So let's snap and clear. Next play.
There's Rocco Becht. Stepping through the pocket. Throw on the run. There's a man all along. Got him. Jalen Knoll, a huge conversion right there. Gets down close to the 30.
Still got plenty of time. 1:17. Now you got them back on their heels. Got to work the other side of the field now, but you got to be mindful of where you are in the time remaining. 1:17. Plenty of time.
Marked at the 35. And in striking distance now is Iowa State. Minute 17 left. Trips to the left. It's a 4-man rush. Pressure lurking.
A single safety. If you've got man coverage here, you may have one guy make it.
Becht's gonna launch.
Nice.
Goes to the right side. Just overthrew Jaden Higgins.
Well, we've seen that 3 other times tonight where you got a guy on a streaking shallow crossing route underneath and you just overthrow him. Clock stops because it's incomplete, but again, boy, maybe you continue on and score.
Second and 10 from the 35.
So 2nd and 10 coming up, 1 minute and 12 seconds to go. Higgins has been one of the best receivers in college football this year, looking at some of the advanced numbers. All right there with them. That duo has been excellent on the year. They've struggled.
Here comes the pressure, the blitz. Can he handle it?
Becht.
Nice.
Looking right side. That's Noel on the catch. Brought down to the 20, but a first down for Iowa State.
Beautiful job of recognizing and, more importantly, handling the pressure. Rocco Becht understands it, gets rid of it, re-tees himself up, and gets it out to Noel.
They'll spike it out of timeouts, are the Cyclones. So they'll mark it at the 19, or it'll be 2nd and 10.
Now, so here's the difference here now. They know through the night you've got to score a touchdown. So how do you choose to defend this if you're Ted Roof? Do you stay in man coverage, or do you play soft and seed the underneath coverage and the opportunities that are there? Knowing that they're running out of timeouts, and then that's the situation. How do you play this? That's the chess match that's been played right now.
Noel's 8th catch for 153 yards just a moment ago.
So they're going to stay back in what looks like a 3-cross.
Becht avoids the traffic, looking right side downfield, throws it away. There were 2 guys on Noel down there over in the right side of the end zone. Tennyson in coverage. So now here comes a 3rd down.
Becht is his best when he's moving to his right, but he's on the right hash. Not a lot of real estate to work with. So if anybody's going to win, you got to get man coverage up top, and they've got to move him out of the pocket. Probably going to move his protection over to the left side. At least he should.
3rd and 10. Running out of time is Becht, and there is contact and a late flag. Oh, that's a tough one. B.J. Adams.
I think the back judge was in the best position to call that one, though. He's turning around, trying to make that play. I think that's the right call.
Adams, who had the pick 6 earlier, trying to get a key stop here, and his hands all over him. Holding all the way.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 0. Keeping on penalty and automatic. First down.
Oh, that's huge. Now, and again, 52 seconds now with a first down is an eternity. You got 4 shots at the end zone. How are you going to get there? This is high drama, man.
4 chances from 4 yards. Becht trying to keep the dream season alive for the Cyclones. Looking left, has his target, incomplete. Was trying to get it to Noel. Broken up.
You know, I think he needs to leave that ball shorter, closer to the end line, and let Noel work his way up to it. Again, there's nothing wrong with throwing the ball, throwing him open. Noel comes in, short motion, gives himself an opportunity to come back. More exacting route, but throw it here to let him run back to it. The defender's back is to you. You got to understand the mechanics of the throw.
Jason Johnson there to break it up. Trips to the left side, 2nd down now. 47 seconds to go. Becht out of the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself. Becht trying to punch it in himself. Is going to be stopped short. And
They got to hurry now.
Running.
That clock is going to keep hurrying. They got to have a play in their back pocket.
Team
can't afford to down this one.
They're going to go back to Becht.
Oh, he got it.
Gets it in. Rocco Becht gets 6.
This guy's got ice in his veins. Can he score from here after hurrying? You betcha.
It becomes at a certain point throw out the playbook. Mano a mano, let me handle this myself. And the sophomore quarterback, Rocco Becht, just did that. They're going to go for 2. Might as well, 30 seconds to go.
And I will bet you that was the shortest scoring drive they've had tonight, when they needed it most.
Definitely the quickest. They get it done in 1 minute and 28 seconds. Again, the keeper, Becht. Wow. Give me 2 more. Iowa State back against the wall. It's been so tough for them to score quick tonight. This was still a long drive. 11 plays, 80 yards in 1 minute 18.
It was amazing, and again, when they needed it most, Rocco Becht put it together. He put the ball underneath his arm, judiciously got down when he needed to, sifted and found the pressure around him and avoided it. Put it on the high percentage boundary so his guys could have it, and if it went in, it was going to be outside. They stepped up, and when he needed it, he stepped up. Do you think he can score? As I said a minute ago, you betcha, man. This guy right here is something special. They've written a narrative. Oh, my God, we're feeling it too with you, brother.
They are losing their minds in Ames, Iowa. It's been a dream season for the Cyclones. Back against the wall. They've been methodical on offense all night, all season, for the better part of a decade under Matt Campbell. But with a limited time remaining, no timeouts, 80 yards to go, their sophomore quarterback leads them all the way on 11 plays in 1 minute 18. It's Peterson back to return for UCF. And now we'll see if the Knights can pull out some magic with 30 seconds to go.
Wow.
Jacurri Brown has done a remarkable job on the ground in this game. It's been tougher through the air, just 7 of 18.
Well, that guy right there has been strong as onion juice tonight, man. I'm telling you, Rocco Becht is an unbelievable poised guy. Jacurri Brown has been outstanding, too. He put the ball up in the air, but he was on the short end and not able to connect on these passes. He had plenty of opportunities, high and away on that one. And again, another opportunity versus man coverage. That's the one thing you have in common with each one of these plays in this sequence. He was unable to finish.
Just 50 yards through the air on the night for Jacurri Brown. He'll go to the air this time, get that completion over to Kobe Hudson on the right side for a first down, stops the clock. A 12-yard gain. Hudson had the first catch of the game.
Talk about being in a pressure cooker here. You laid out how few yards through the air. The pressure's on.
Brown's going to have to be great, and making his first start as a Knight after a change in quarterback a week ago.
Harvey snap. Ball start. Offense. Number 78, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So a false start on their veteran left tackle, Amari Kite. The Alabama transfer.
Gus Malzahn is excited for 2 reasons. He knows he's got a play in his pocket that can get him down there, but does he have a kicker that can finish? That's the key.
Their starter left the program a couple of weeks ago. Brown keeping it on the ground, trying to go coast to coast, and he's tripped up. What a tackle coming up, Malik Verdon. And what could have been a huge gain ends up being only 3. UCF calls a timeout. They have 1 left.
I'll tell you, if Malik Verdon doesn't make that play, partner, he's going to get down there and get out of bounds on the field that he needs. But number 7 finds him there, the free safety. Watch Malik. He's isolated. They're trying to play him with leverage with Barnes and company. But you know what? This is the play of the game right here, in my opinion. Because I think he's got enough foot speed, does Brown, to make it to the edge and get out of bounds.
Verdon was the Cyclones' leading tackler a week ago at West Virginia. Was massive against Iowa. Career best 13 tackles. And just may have saved this perfect season for Iowa State.
Well, you're going to see this 3-5-3 scheme with those three guys back further, deeper than they ever have been. No penalties. Can't afford to do it. If you have to play fairly close, you don't want a penalty, but if you put them in range, you want to keep them far enough in front where it becomes a problem. Because remember, one of the players that opted out and left the program was their starting kicker.
Brown, he's got to go deep. He's going to launch right side. Intercepted. And Iowa State will survive here at Ames. Jontez Williams, 4th straight game with a pick. That one sealed it.
How about this one? Jontez Williams, 5'11", 200-pound redshirt sophomore, goes up and climbs the ladder and snatches that one down and seals the fate of the visitors tonight. Oh, what a play.
The target was Kobe Hudson, their best receiver. Brown knows it. So does Williams. Excited on that Cyclones sideline. There's the final knee. 7-0, the best start in Iowa State history has been matched by Matt Campbell in comeback fashion as Iowa State wins it to go 4-0 in Big 12 play for the first time in 133 years of Cyclone football.
Well, that's great meeting at the field there with Gus Malzahn. I mean, the conversation was more than just cursory. That's two men who respect one another's decision-making ability. Outstanding job by both teams, particularly the Travelers coming in to Ames, Iowa for a showdown tonight.
R.J. Harvey, 196 yards, 2 scores. As Gus Malzahn's team goes home, the losers tonight, but Matt Campbell's team able to step up in comeback fashion. Down by 14. They get to 7-0. There's no graphic better than what we just showed right there.
That was absolutely huge. But the takeaway for me, partners, they celebrate this one. Then Matt Campbell there is memories is short for a reason. You forget them, wipe the snot, keep playing.
What a Saturday. Don't forget tomorrow, NFL action on Fox all day long.